Shane Wilson, driver of the 21 car, is, of course, Kevin Harvick, kicked off the premises, rule violations, unapproved aerodynamic modification. Explain that one for us.
Well, what it is something they've done to the car. Now, NASCAR found it, I think, after qualifying. They determined that that was not something they were going to approve. For that reason, Shane Wilson has been asked to leave the premises, as well as the fact that the 21 car will now be moved to the back of the pack. You know, this maybe probably won't hurt him so much, but starting back there, but the fact that he doesn't have his crew chief, once again, could be a challenge.
Yeah, and a second violation. Shane Wilson was on probation for a different violation back at Talladega. 16 drivers that we'll see in this race. We'll see tomorrow night on Fox in the Cup race. Usually it helps prep them, but things are a little bit different here.
Definitely a lot different, Chris. When you think about the fact these guys are running a bigger restrictor plate, a totally different aero package, and more importantly, they've got a harder tire. So being able to take this information and transfer it to your Cup car is probably going to be difficult. As a matter of fact, I think these guys that are racing tonight, they could get a little bit confused. J.J.
Ailey on the pole. He's been in great shape on the pole for all the restrictor plate races. Of course, we've had some Busch Series drivers with recent success. Do you have a shot here at winning tonight?
I think so. This team has gotten better each week. The last 3 weeks, they've had really strong runs, been in position to win. And I think it's about time. I'm sure J.J. feels the same way for him to get to victory lane. And what better place than the final restrictor plate race for the Busch Grand National Series.
All right, sunset at about 45, 50 minutes from now. So we started a little bit of the twilight. It's been a hot, steamy, I mean, sweltering kind of day.
It really has been. And for a lot of these drivers that have been doing a lot of racing, just like we're looking there at Tony Stewart, he's done a lot of racing this weekend, won the IROC race last night, but it takes its toll on you. So if we're not hydrated, we may see some guys get in trouble later on in this race.
I know you're well hydrated. All right, Tony Stewart won last night's IROC race here at Daytona. Today he will start from row 16. It's been a wild ride for Tony, especially in the Busch Series. Remember, hurt his shoulder in Charlotte, wrecked after his car turned upside down. That was at Talladega. Let's take a look back when things were right side up for Tony.
The lead is up for grabs. Here comes Tony Stewart. Tony has saved his best for the last. But Tony Stewart has won the Hershey's Kissable 300.
Matt Yoakum is with Tony Stewart.
And Tony Stewart's won 2 of the last 4 Busch Series restrictor plate races. And for you, this is your golf game, and I know you're excited about tonight.
Yeah, but I want to first say hi to buddy mine, Greg Fernelli, and Jenny Durst. They've both been really sick lately, so I just want to let them both know we're thinking about them. But I'm excited about tonight. It's fun. Dollar General guys are excited, and LePage says he's going to wait for me here. But no, just excited about it. I mean, obviously, last 2 times we've been here in a Busch car, we've won the race. So pretty excited about it. And you know, after a good night last night, it'd be a great two-peat.
Now, for you and Harvick, both you guys love to collect things. You have the original Daytona winner, and Harvick got the one you flipped at Talladega?
Yeah, he got the one that looks a little wilder than the one I've got. He put rubber marks down mine. Mine's just kind of watered up in a ball right now, so I don't know what he's going to do with it. It's only good for planting flowers in right now, pretty much, but you know, it's our goal today is to not crash. The last 3 races I've run for Kevin and Delana, I've crashed their cars, so I'm going to try to save him some money tonight and not destroy a brand new car.
In fact, when he flipped at Talladega, Chris, he told Harvick, just keep the money. I tore up your race car.
All right, thanks, Matt. And Tony, the driver introductions continuing. Hammond keeping notes just to make sure no violation. We wouldn't want you ejected from the premises. Then I'd have to talk.
Don't go that far.
With Jimmy Johnson when we continue on our pre-race show here, counting it down to the Busch Series race tonight on FX. Jimmy Johnson, the points leader in the Cup Series. You'll see him tomorrow night on Fox. Remember, he won the Daytona 500 here. He'll preview tonight's race and talk about tomorrow night in a moment.
NASCAR Busch Series Racing on FX is brought to you by new and improved Just for Men hair color. Targets only the gray. Ain't nothing like it. And by Aqua Velva. You know what women say. It just feels better with an Aqua Velva man.
When something is real, it shows.
Real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing.
Introducing new Just for Men. Its new True Color formula targets only gray, replaces it with subtle tones for a natural look that is real. Real to the eye, real to the touch, real where it counts. New True Color Just for Men.
And as you'll see from our third quarter earnings, our performance is on the rise.
That's amazing. He didn't even flinch. Yeah, typical cage fighter. What? He does this as a sideline. He'd rather be gouging somebody in the eye or putting his knee in somebody's kidney. Ted? Yeah, he has a bumper sticker that says, I'd rather have you in a chokehold. He's like 5 7. He's a bad man.
You can't change the price of gas, but you can change your filter. Replacing a clogged air filter can save you up to $5 per tank of gas. Install Fram air filter every 12,000 miles. It can improve your car's performance and save you money at the pump. So remember, no matter what you drive, no matter how you drive it, before you slam it, Fram it.
Celebrate your financial independence at your Dodge dealer with 0% financing for 60 months or up to $5,000 cash allowance. Plus, make no monthly payments until 2007. Save on Ram 1500 Quad Cab with the most interior room in its class. Durango with available 8-passenger seating. And Grand Caravan with a 5-star government crash test rating and exclusive stow-and-go seating. Now, current owners get an additional $1,000 loyalty cash allowance on Dodge Ram 1500 Quad Cab. Plus, make no monthly payments until 2007. Offer ends June 30th.
Are you out of your mind? What do you weigh, 115 pounds?
Jack Black, Gwyneth Paltrow, Shallow Hal, an FX movie presentation, Thursday at 7:30, followed by an all-new episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia at 10 on FX.
Jimmy Johnson. He's cool, calm, and collected. Johnson goes to the half side. That is a win. He is fast. So the Lowe's Chevrolet will head to victory lane. This is his house. The point leader, Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy joining us here at the Hollywood Hotel, getting ready for tomorrow night. The 48 Lowe's Chevrolet, also Shamu on that car. First of all, thanks for coming. A little hot out there.
It is warm. I like watching that clip. The Vegas win seems like it was 3 months ago. I mean, 3 years ago, I should say, instead of 3 months ago.
The Daytona 500 win must seem further. Now, that car obviously has to go on display, but how will winning that race help you in tomorrow night's race?
It helps me as a driver. The things that I did in the race, I can take those lessons and move them forward, take those and apply them to what I want to do tomorrow night. But it hurt the team. They took our race car. In that race car, I saw it today, gave it a little tap on the roof, and came back over here hoping to bring some luck with me from that race car. But we built a new car, took it to Talladega. It went really strong in Talladega. Talladega, obviously, we won. It didn't feel like it was the fastest car, but definitely drove well. Chad and the guys, our Speedway department, engine department, have worked really hard. And the car I had yesterday in happy hour was off the charts. So I'm really excited and looking forward to tomorrow night's race.
Now, you talk about off the charts, and you've had a fantastic season as far as winning race and leading the points. But, my friend, I hate to tell you this, but some of your best moments have been the saves that you've been able to do so far this year. I mean, places like, take a look right here. This one at Dover. I mean, to me, it gives me cold chills watching you drive it.
The reason I'm able to do stuff like that is that I put myself in bad situations, and I've done that a lot in my career. And I've learned how to bail myself out of trouble.
Last week here?
Yeah. I was a little disappointed I didn't get it into first gear fast enough.
Oh, come on. Stop
complaining. I mean, looking back, you got to
That's like looking for a smudge on the Mona Lisa or something. But
I was so shocked I was pointed the right way that I was in second gear and lugging along. Like, man, go first gear, let's go.
Whether it's the crew chief issue with Chad Canals or things like that, you've overcome a lot to maintain a solid point lead. So you guys, even though you're on top, you've had to kind of overcome a lot of adversity.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'm really excited about. Two things, really. One, we've been able to overcome tough races. We look at Dover, Pocono. Last weekend had some trouble. We still come back and finish in the top 10. Second thing is we're still learning a new body and a new race car and developing new stuff, and we haven't peaked yet. And I know that we're getting close, and the cars are getting better every week.
I'm a little concerned. I know you start 9th on Saturday night. We saw your Shamu paint scheme, and I don't know if it's going to be difficult for you. When we saw the car here, you got a long, look at that. Jeff, what about that spoiler?
I'm a little bit worried. You got the
it's going to be fast.
The whale tail is what's got me impressed. I mean, where is your gurney lift, though?
I think it's going to create rear lift. The way it's positioned, that would be a problem.
Or up force. Right, the real car. And you grew up, near San Diego, so SeaWorld, Shamu. I mean, that's kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
And you're telling people, hey, good time in the summer to get out and enjoy.
Yeah, so much fun. And there's a new Shamu show that's going on at SeaWorld. SeaWorld was real close to where I grew up, and summer vacations, school field trips, whatever it was, I was there all the time and had a good time. So it was an easy program for us to put together with.
And now, you're not going to be riding the Shamu anytime soon, are you?
I don't think so. I wouldn't mind. I'll give it a shot.
You haven't swum with dolphins, but I know you have gone, shark swimming with Jeff Gordon?
My friend and teammate sent me down with the sharks, yeah.
More with Jimmy Johnson as we count you down to the race tonight here in Daytona. You're watching NASCAR on FX.
In the blink of an eye, the wife of a
a United States senator will vanish.
FBI!
Now, a centuries-old conspiracy that reaches the highest level of government.
Sorry you feel that way, Mr. President.
Will be uncovered.
Looks like a saint.
It's a prayer card.
What the hell's going on?
He was killed, then inked.
She's gone missing before.
12 years ago.
Do whatever it takes to get my wife back.
Vanished. A new series coming this fall to
Horton Center's 2006-2007 season is more exciting than ever, featuring the Tony Award-winning mega musical Wicked, Stephen Schwartz's Pippin, Legend starring Joan Collins and Linda Evans, Sweet Charity starring Molly Ringwald, and All Shook Up, a musical comedy that's all Elvis. Also experience Mamma Mia, Andrew Lloyd Webber's Jesus Christ Superstar, and Rent. Add to that the London Philharmonic Orchestra, Lily Tomlin, and over 50 other classical, dance, jazz, variety, world music, and pop attractions. Subscribers get the best seats, so log on to WhartonCenter.com to see our new virtual brochure.
Hey, why have the latest in technology if it doesn't make you think, wow? Come on over to Scory Auto Salvage.
Wow, Mike, I'm getting email and video on my phone.
You can get the hottest in digital phone technology right here at Scory's.
Smile, Mike. Wow, cute picture.
Thank you. And with plenty of options, you can get the perfect phone plan for your lifestyle. Come into any Scory store and see the latest in Nextel phones. Scory Auto Sound and Cellular. We've got your wow.
For 30 years, Shaheen Chevrolet has been making it less expensive to buy or lease a newer used car or truck. Now we're making it less expensive to drive one, too, because now a Shaheen Chevrolet will help pay for the gas. 50 cents a gallon on every new or used vehicle. That's right, 50 cents a gallon for a full year. And we'll still get you the kind of deal that's made Shaheen Chevrolet Lansing's #1 Chevy dealer. Great deals and cheap gas. Where else are you going to get all that? Only at Shaheen Chevrolet.
You won't get it anywhere else.
Sixth in the overall standings. Points leader Kevin Harvick remains on top, although his 19th place finish last week, his worst result of the season. Again, he starts from back of the pack. Harvick does. His crew chief kicked off the premises here for violations prior to the race. Kenny Wallace, the highest driver in the top 10 without a top 5 finish this year. And Jimmy with us, who's going to drive, what, 2 more Busch races yourself this year. So it was dominated by the Cup drivers, and then the last 2 we've had the Busch Series full-time guys win the race. You think there's a trend here, or it's just guys running well on weekends when the crews were split?
I hope so. I mean, the Busch regulars are doing a great job, and I watched that clip, and I think of Paul, and I spent a lot of time in Milwaukee racing ASA cars, and I know how big that race is in general, and then for him to win there, his first one, hometown guy. I remember my first and only Busch win that I have, and how special that is, so I'm happy for Paul and know how big of an accomplishment that is, and beating the Cup guys. Those guys did a great job, and hopefully they keep that going. That's the way they get the recognition that they need. It's the way their teams get the funding they need, and it shows that, you know, it is good to have the Cup guys in the sport.
Jimmy has his memories, and in 100 laps, 250 miles, the 6-year run of Busch Series racing on the Fox family of networks will come to an end with this race tonight. Over the past few years, we've had our share of thrills and chills.
Listen, there is no better way to start off a week than with a race.
We've come a long, long way together. Through the hard times and the good. I have to celebrate you, baby. I have to praise you like
Welcome to Busch's opening day and Fox's very first telecast of the Busch race as well.
Gentlemen,
when he comes in here.
Buddy, you just never know what's going to happen. Oh, trouble. Here we go. Here we are. Bottom up, man. Last year, all over. Bottom trouble. The two-car upside down, over and on to Scott Riggs. It's the big one.
Buenas tardes, Mexico!
First of all, I love this joint.
For the first time outside the United States.
Give that dog a bone.
The man would have been proud.
Here's the lead machines. Once, twice. Down to the strike as they bang. Under control.
Bobby Hamilton moves to the outside. Here comes Martin Truex Jr. as they come out of four. And Martin Truex Jr. will take the checkered flag.
Sideways, look at Robbie Gordon on the high side. He gets all four cars on the lead.
Michael Waltrip makes the pass. Here they come. Wow. And it's McMurray. No, it's not. It's Bodine.
Jamie slides across the finish second.
This David Gilliland cat is coming. David Gilliland wins. David has truly beat the Goliath of NASCAR Busch Series racing.
1, 2, 3. Let's go to Chris Myers.
All right, guys, right on cue. It's been a lot of fun working with the Busch Series guys, the Cup guys. Your Busch Series win, 2001 Chicago, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back to 2001. Remember what you felt like, thought like, and then talk about the maturity as a driver. And if we take a glance back, this was you cooperating with us back then. Look
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's
giving people headaches,
mad
right?
skills of dancing. Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to be doing this.
That's all right. We decided we have
Thank
a
you. That's
You've
cool.
grown a lot, Sid. We've
Yes.
matured too, by the way. So.
Yes.
Oh, man. I couldn't tell if that was an audition for the Wizard of Oz or not.
Well, they have you do all this crazy stuff so that, you know, the opening of the shows look good, but some guys can do it better than others. I suck
You
at
got to realize right now you're still doing crazy stuff because you're up there with me and Myers.
But people should realize that's part. Yeah, I mean, racing is your main job, but you have all these other responsibilities, which are fun. I do want to ask you about in the Cup Series with the Nextel Cup Championship, the Chase. There's some talk about tweaking it a little bit. All right, you're the points leader now. Would you like more drivers in it? The points thing to be rearranged? If they ask you for your opinion,
I think my goal, my rule, if I was king for a day, I would make it anyone within 400 points has a chance in the chase. So it could be 5 cars, it could be 15 cars, whatever it could be from there. I think opening it up to 15 cars. I mean, we had a hard time accepting 10 cars in the chase,
right,
let alone 15. Now that's the racer in me, and I can't argue with the fact that the chase has been better for our sport. So I think the competitors, especially guys that are used to being in the top 10 and being in the chase, they don't want to see this grow anymore. And as the points leader, I don't want to make any mistakes because I only want 10 guys in this chase. I don't want to deal with 15.
No, I mean, I'm like you. I mean, I'm glad that you're saying that and you feel that way because I'm a competitor also. I think 10 is more than enough to show the talent and the guys who really have the desire to show and be a champion.
Yep. No, we're glad that you're with us. We're going to toss it down for the opening ceremonies in a moment. Yes, some people talk about rewarding wins during the course of the season. A victory should count for more. Would you be in favor of that?
And I think we get too complicated at times and it's too hard for the fans to follow. We've got a great system. I think that over the years it's proven itself, and really the last 3 years of the chase, it's been more than anyone ever could have imagined, and I think it's working well. Leave it alone.
Jimmy will start tomorrow night. That's NASCAR on Fox, the Cup race. Let's go down to the track as we start the opening ceremonies for tonight's 250-mile Busch race.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as United States Marine Corps Color Guard present our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Dr. Tim McNeil delivers tonight's invocation.
Let us pray. We celebrate this night that you are our God and that we are your people. We celebrate this night of excitement, of racing under the lights, under the sun and moon, and of the sounds of man-made thunder. We pray that you would keep each driver safe, enable each team to perform beyond their expectations. And we pray also that as the victory is celebrated tonight, we may continue to celebrate your victory in our life. Shalom and amen.
Here to perform tonight's national anthem, please welcome straight away to Stardom 2 contest winner from Palm Coast, California, 16-year-old Tiffany Thomas.
Oh, say, can you see by
broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
A patriotic display on the cars of Kevin Harvick, the Coast Guard Chevrolet, Ashton Lewis Jr., United States Marines Ford, and Martin Truex Jr. in the Navy Chevrolet.
Thursday, it's a double shot of sunny.
This isn't over until I say it's over!
See the show TV guide hails as brazenly funny.
We're done here.
It's always sunny in Philadelphia. Thursday at 10, only on FX.
Sometimes one more is one too many. Know your limit.
Yeah, let me hear it! We say 10, you say stop.
Kate and Tim don't know the score. Greg, he got his credit score from freecreditreport.com. Don't be like them. Get the score. Log on to freecreditreport.com to get your free credit score and report, and you'll be entered for a chance to win an honorary crew chief position with Greg Biffle at a 2007 NASCAR Series race. No purchase necessary to enter or win. See website for details. Free credit score and report with enrollment in Triple Advantage.
That is sweet.
My pride and joy.
It looks new.
Like right out of the showroom.
That is one great look.
Whoa, hold on, honey. Showing Tom the floor.
Nice floor, Joan.
Make your garage floor the envy of the neighborhood with Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield, America's best-selling premium garage floor coating. Just prep and go. Simple as painting a wall. Easy to clean and resist peeling. This all-inclusive kit is available at home centers, hardware stores, and automotive retailers near you. For a high-gloss showroom finish, top coat with Epoxy Shield premium clear coating.
The German word for safe is sicher. The Portuguese word for firewall is muro de fogo. The Chinese word for password is mima. My company's in 17 countries now, and I can say secure in every one of them.
Dynamic networking from AT&T identifies security threats before they're problems, so Jane's confidence grows right alongside her company. The new AT&T, your world delivered.
Glad to have you with us from Daytona this holiday weekend. Counting it out of the Winn Dixie 250 presented by Pepsi. Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers, Jimmy Johnson, our special guest here. The guys will call the race upstairs in the booth. Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds, Mike Joy. Guys?
Thanks, Chris, and hi, everybody. It's been a very warm day in Daytona Beach here. We're ready for some fireworks tonight in the NASCAR Busch Series. But, Darrell, during your ride and drive, we're going to see that tomorrow night, and the track looks bumpy. When we looked at qualifying, it looks kind of rough. You said it feels kind of rough. I want to know from Jimmy Johnson, is this track a lot bumpier from the driver's seat than it was, say, in February or a year ago?
It's hard to say from, through the year. I think it's about the same. Maybe it is changing, but the big bumps are still there. I don't really feel any other any big swells. I kind of expect the same swells each time through. I love the fact that the track's getting older. The sun's beating up on it year after year. The tires, fall off the cars faster. We have a lot of drop-off in the pace, and handling's important. I think it puts on a better show and really lets me do my job in the race car, and the same with the team. So I am nervous that Talladega's going to be repaved, and I hope that they leave the surface on here for a long time.
Hey, Jimmy, I keep hearing, and I think I've heard you say it, I've read quite often where you say you're a different restrictor plate racer than you were even maybe this time last year. What changed? What was it that went off? What did you learn that made you a better driver on these kind of racetracks than you were in the past?
I really just try to look at mistakes that I've made, good ones, bad ones, and learn from those lessons. In the past, I've made a lot of mistakes, pulling out too soon, being too aggressive, riding in line. I think last year here, I ran second to Tony pretty much the entire race, and we get down to 3 or 4 to go, and I pull out and slip from second to 7th. So, things like that, learning my lesson, making mistakes, and paying the price for it, I've now come back smarter. It's worked the last 2 times. There's no guarantees it'll work again a 3rd or 4th time, but this style and this way I've approached the restrictor plate races lately has worked really well.
Jimmy, real quickly, as the points leader, is it your job over these next 10 races to keep that window of drivers just to 10?
Yeah, it's just to keep the points within 400. You keep that 400 mark outside the top 10. That's the goal.
Thanks, Jimmy. We're getting ready to race here in Daytona Beach. Let's go trackside for the command.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dan Lefevre, Regional Vice President Orlando, as he gives those most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
J. Yaley on the pole, sharing the front row with Paul Menard, and we thank Jimmy Johnson of the 48 Low Chevrolet with Shamu tomorrow night. We'll see you on Fox. Thanks for coming by. Stay cool and good luck.
You got it. Thanks for having me on the show.
It's been a pleasure covering you through the course of the first half of this NASCAR season on Fox and FX. We're going to look at Casey Kane, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Tony Stewart as we get ready to roll here in just a moment.
All over America, thousands of kids are getting ready for one of our great racing traditions. The All-American Soapbox Derby, presented by Levi Strauss Signature. Let's go racing.
They should call me Mr. Points. I have so many. I just got upgraded.
They're the best. I got a cordless drill with some of my points.
Really?
Yeah.
I got these golf clubs.
Those are gorgeous.
They're made of gold.
Wow, that's terrific. I got a unicycle for my son.
Oh, yeah?
So much fun.
What is he, a clown or something?
Well, I hope so.
Yeah. Good for him.
I don't have any points, so... that makes it harder to redeem them.
It sure does. I'm thinking about getting a 10-gallon hat. Maybe some nunchucks.
Quickcrete Concrete. For over 60 years, it's been used by just about everyone for just about everything. Quickcrete, king of the concrete jungle.
Are you getting enough fiber? Goodyear's new Eagle Response Edge gives you more of what you crave. The added performance of carbon fiber. A carbon fiber reinforced sidewall creates added stability for sharp maneuvering and a better feel for the road, while a shock-absorbing insulator delivers a smooth, quiet ride. The new Goodyear Eagle Response Edge, getting your fiber has never been so fun. Innovation on the wings of Goodyear.
On FX, welcome back to the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway, the 18th Busch Series race of the season. Mark Truex Jr., by the way, won this race last July. He'll start from row 13. He's replacing the banged-up Mark McFarland in the 88 car for this race tonight. To get you into the heads of the drivers and under the hoods of the cars, let's turn to our pit reporters who have everything covered for you. Dick Berggren, Steve Burns, and Matt Yoakum. We begin our pit watch with Steve Burns. Hey, Steve.
Hey, good night. Good evening, Chris. I appreciate that. Now, Kevin Harvick has had great success this season. He's the points leader. He's got 3 wins, more than anybody else, and he leads virtually every statistical category in the NASCAR Busch Series. He's also had great success here at Daytona. He has 8 starts in all 8 finishes. He's been 8th or better, including being 2nd on 3 occasions. But as Chris Myers mentioned earlier, his crew chief, Shane Wilson, has been ejected from the premises after the qualifying run. They were penalized for an unapproved aerodynamic modification. Calling the shots atop the pit box tonight will be Kevin Harvick's next Cup crew chief, Todd Berrier. Harvick has to start from the rear of the field, Matt Yoakum.
2-time NASCAR Busch Series champion Martin Truex Jr. told his corporate teammate Paul Menard, the hardest win you'll ever score is the very first one. Now, he pulled that off at his home track in Milwaukee 1 week ago. Now he's hoping to really start chalking up some victories and hoping to start right here at Daytona. He led 37 laps 1 year ago in the February race, 11 last year, but he didn't lead any laps here in the spring. He says the biggest thing, he's not a huge fan of plate racing, but the biggest thing that you have to learn is, of course, patience. He's starting on the outside front row, hoping for good things tonight in his DEI number 11. To Dick Berggren.
Hey, how's this for fun? Tony Stewart has won 2 of his 4 Busch Series starts here at Daytona. He was very fast in practice, 3rd quick in one of the sessions, but he qualified very poorly, 32nd. So he's got a lot of cars to pass to get to the front. Stewart said, no problem, he can do it. And then there's the story of Michael Waltrip. He's won 3 times here in Cup competition, finished 2nd 4 times in Busch Series competition. He was 2nd in one of the practice sessions. He's starting even worse, 38th. But he reminded me just moments ago that here in February, he started 42nd, and with 2 to go, he was in the lead pack. So we got some guys in the back with fast cars. They're going to be moving forward, Chris.
All right, thanks, Dick. And ready to roll earlier when the cars were still back in the garage. Jeff Hammond went back there to illustrate something that you can watch for this weekend, starting with tonight's race.
So you want to understand the difference between a Busch car and a Nextel Cup car when it comes to their drafting packages. As the air hits the nose of both of these cars, it comes up the windshield the same. But when it gets to the top of the Busch car, here's the big difference. The wicker on top roof of this car makes the air hit it and go above it. It loses contact with the roof like it does on the Nextel Cup car. Air follows all the way back on the Nextel Cup car while the air keeps way above the rear spoiler. That's the reason why you see this gurney lip and a taller spoiler on a Busch car than you do on the Nextel Cup car. You can see how the air stays attached, comes all the way down, hits the spoiler here, but it makes a very small opening that guys can draft up on. Now, but the other side of the equation, as that wicker works, it makes a huge hole, folks. I mean, a big hole. That's where the draft comes into play and the slingshot.
All right, Jeff, stay cool out there. Thanks a lot. Restrictor plate, bump drafting, that's what's ahead tonight. Let's rejoin Darrell, Larry, and Mike.
Thanks, Chris. We want to tell you about 3 ways that this 250-mile race will be different from tomorrow night's 400-miler that you'll see on Fox. And first is the aerodynamic package that Jeff talked about. The result of that is the drivers can breathe the throttle without losing position or distance to the car in front. And if they pull up and have a run, they've got some pull out to pass horsepower because the car in front breaks such a big hole in the wind. That's one big difference.
Yeah, the other big difference is the tires that they're running on the Busch cars. They're different than they are on the Cup. The reason being is these cars have got the bigger fuel cell the Busch cars do. They can make longer runs, so Goodyear felt they needed a tire that would be a little more durable, so it's a harder tire. But the consequences is the cars aren't handling as well. And these guys have got their hands full. How many guys have told me my car is not driving anything like it did here in February? I'm sliding all over the place. That's going to create some real issues. And Larry, with that bigger fuel cell, what's the strategy going to be like?
Well, this is a fairly short race, 250 miles, 100 laps. With those bigger fuel cells that host 22 gallons of fuel, these guys can go over 50 laps on fuel. So I would say a lot of these guys are thinking about doing it on one stop. The other reason, if you can stay to the front of the eye of the storm, you'll stay out of the eye of the storm.
Eye of the storm is something you hear frequently in Central Florida this time of year, and not just on race nights. We're about a lap and a half from a start here in Daytona. It got up into the mid to high 90s this afternoon. The air temperature has cooled quite a bit, and the track has come down from around 120 degrees earlier. No threat of rain. Good bit of clouds. Nice balmy night in and around Daytona Beach.
And you know, Mike, I mean, some of these guys, they've been out here 2 days practicing, qualifying. Some of the guys ran the IROC race last night, Tony Stewart. These guys are going to be pretty well used up after this short race tonight. They're going to need all day tomorrow to get rested up for that race tomorrow night.
Because a lot of them will be in that 400-miler tomorrow night. And that's another thing. All of their practice has been in the heat of the day. This is really the first time they're going to be on the racetrack at night when the track is much cooler. That's going to solve a lot of those handling problems, but for everyone.
Going to help.
J.J. Yaley has won all 3 restrictor plate poles for the NASCAR Busch Series this year. 2 at Daytona, 1 at Talladega.
And this is their final restrictor plate race of 2006. They do not go to Talladega in the fall when the Cup cars are there.
Here's our DLP HDTV cable cam. Floating above the tri-oval area on pit road and the front straightaway here.
You do that, a little crank it up. I don't know if life can get any better on a Friday night.
I like it, baby. Daytona Beach, 4th of July weekend. Got the lake, got campfires, got people ready for some action.
We got the grass cam, or the asphalt cam, whichever you want to call it.
Or the crushed shells and some binder, like a lot of the pavement here in Florida is cam. Lake Lloyd, the borrow pit that was dug to build the bankings for Daytona International Speedway back in 1958. Like everything else here in this part of Florida, you dig a hole and it fills with water.
Imagine that.
Now, 2 things also that exist here, but this exists also in Nextel Cup. You see that yellow line? Below that yellow line is out of bounds. You cannot race below that yellow line, and they have a non-aggressive driving zone the whole racetrack.
Yeah, exactly. I know in February here, they had areas that you could bump draft in. But this time, coming back, all the racetrack is a no-bump zone.
This track will transition somewhat from sunset to nighttime.
It's going to get faster, that's for one thing. Guarantee you.
Well, it gets faster because the cars pick up a little grip, the engines are happier, and the drivers are happier. So it just makes for more speed.
16 double-duty drivers running tonight and tomorrow night in the Nextel Cup race. Tony Stewart and Martin Truex Jr. 3 scoops. The International Race of Champions last night and the Busch race in the Cup race.
And based on what we have seen here in Talladega with the Busch cars, if we can get through those first 10 or 15 laps, then we can maybe breathe just a little bit.
Can we get through the first 1?
Well, we hope so. We hope
that'd be nice, because with this aero package, it keeps them bunched up pretty much all night long.
Fast track Friday night. Here we go in Daytona.
Well, DW, in honor of our 6 years of doing the Busch Series, NASCAR on Fox, you better reach up there and pull those belts tight. One more time, let's get this Friday night party started.
Yeah, baby, this is it for you Busch boys. No more boogity, boogity, boogity from DW. But tonight, it's boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys!
Clean start. Yaley and his teammate Denny Hamlin hook up at the front. Outside pole sitter dropping back to 8th.
Yeah, he's up there all by himself right now, and the line is in the bottom. Everybody's to the bottom, single file. He's going to have to try to duck in there behind the 06 car, and I think he'll be able to.
J.J. Yaley, who finished second in Kentucky and third in Milwaukee in his last 2 Busch races, out front.
And pulling teammate Denny Hamlin in that 20 car with him, and that's Brian Vickers in the 57 car, driving a Hendrick car. We know he'll be strong here, just like he was at Talladega and back here in February.
You're going to see this kind of, you're going to see 2 lines all night long. The bottom line is going to be the best line early here, but I think that top line will come in after they run a bit.
Paul Menard finds a place in line, back about 10th.
But you know what? He will not be content to ride there. I remember down here in February, he'd get in line and then he'd jump to that outside. He just needs somebody to go with him because we know he's got a fast car.
3 wide, back about 18th spot. As Scott Wimmer tries to move up through the pack, the 66.
And you'll hear us get pretty excited about 3 wide. This racetrack is plenty wide enough for 3 wide. But as these cars start buffing it around, that's when it gets exciting. I want you to look at that McDonald's car right there, the 35 car Regan Smith. Yesterday, late in the final practice, hit the wall hard with the right side. Chris Wright and that crew, they worked till 11:30 last night to get that car back in shape. Qualified 20th, and he's holding his own now. Good job by that crew.
Yeah, he was pretty fast before that, before he had that accident. So that's why I'm sure they wanted to fix that car.
Reed Sorensen on the outside, the Discount Tire Dodge, gunning for 3rd against Vickers.
You just get such a run, but when you're in line, you get such a run, you either got to pull out or back off. So you figure, well, I'll pull out, and usually you go backwards.
He's going to back up right to Paul Menard. And the 2 of Clint Boyer. Menard finally gets to the bottom behind Johnny Sauter.
Yeah, he's starting to work his way back towards the front now.
If Menard will get up there, I just think that outside line, once everybody gets bottled up around the bottom and guys up there in the front of that pack start having to lift a little bit, that outside line will start to work.
Dick Berggren's in the leader's pit.
Yeah, and I'm listening to his radio, and J.J. Yaley was just told by his crew chief that Denny Hamlin running behind him is right on the yellow line. Yaley told his crew chief he has decided to run just a little bit above that yellow line to try to save his tires. So first and second, a little bit different line here at Daytona.
Now, the yellow line, in my opinion, it's your best friend. It takes away anybody getting under you. If you stay on that yellow line, that's one less place you got to worry about somebody passing you.
Now you see Paul Menard in the 11 car, set on the outside of the front row with Reed Sorensen in the 41. They have moved back to the high side.
Didn't take long to work that high groove in turn 2.
And you'll see guys like Clint Boyer just did, they'll jump from one side to the other when they're kind of at the tail of that line back there. But sooner or later, they'll get gripped up on that outside and they'll come motor to the front.
How about 3rd place Brian Vickers, Steve?
Mike, before the race started, Brian Vickers told Peter Suspenzo and his crew that he actually wanted to run the high side, but here early in the race, he said that he's gotten a little bit loose, so he's staying on the bottom, and he's also turned off his bead blowers.
The bead blowers are blowers that blow cold air or cool air on the bead of the tire, and it helps the buildup in the tire. If the car's a little loose, you turn them off, they'll build up some pressure, tighten the car up a little bit.
That's in the front tires. He wants that air pressure to go in the 2 front tires. That's one of the adjustments that the driver can make during a run.
There's a little bump, and that's acceptable. That's just bump drafting, and that's okay, as long as you don't slam into that guy.
Reed Sorensen getting a little help from the 5 of Kyle Busch.
And then people at home might say, well, what's the difference? Well, the difference is you don't pick the guy's rear wheels up off the ground. That's the difference.
And you don't do it in the corner. On the straightaway is okay.
Yeah, there's bump drafting, and then like we saw on the last lap at Milwaukee last Saturday night, dump drafting.
Yeah.
Now Paul Menard in the 11 car, he has found his teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 8 car, but then now Paul jumps back to the outside.
And there's Vickers up to the high side like he wanted to be, but that's going to cost him some spots.
Did you see the 8 car, that little wiggle? Paul got into him as he was turning to get underneath Dale Jr. That little angle will loosen you up big time.
These cars they never stop moving around in this racetrack.
And the driver, I mean, he's driving as hard as he can and doing the best he can, but they do a lot of moving around on their own, and you got to remember that. Let's watch this little move here. You'll see the 11 car kind of go across make the move across the back of the 8 car. Now watch the 8 car here. It's the third car in line there. Watch him when he goes across here, touches him a little bit. See, Paul was going one way, Dale Jr.'s going the other, and that's what caused Dale Jr. to get loose.
Little casual contact at nearly 180 miles an hour. Junior has come to second. There's his wingman, Menard, right with him in third. 7 laps complete in Daytona. J.J. Yaley has led them all.
NASCAR Busch Series Racing on FX is brought to you by Holiday Inn. Look again. By Supercuts. Every time. And by Dodge. Grab life by the horns.
Guys, I'll be just a couple minutes, okay?
I'm going to go down to the lobby and get a toothbrush. We've been here for 3 days, and you're just now realizing that you don't have a toothbrush?
I had gum. What?
I don't know if it's the same thing.
Yeah, it is. It's really fresh gum. It smells fine.
No. Let me smell.
Fine. Okay. I'll meet you guys in the restaurant.
Let's get you cleaned up.
Supercuts is a proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Hey, how's the temperature?
Supercuts, every time.
Larry, go! Right here, partner! Here we go! Right here! Go! Go! Attaboy! Yeah!
Proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing. Supercuts, every time.
Celebrate your financial independence at your Dodge dealer with 0% financing for 60 months or up to $5,000 cash allowance. Plus, make no monthly payments until 2007. Save on Ram 1500 Quad Cab with the most interior room in its class. Durango with available 8-passenger seating. And Grand Caravan with a 5-star government crash test rating and exclusive stow-and-go seating. Now, current owners get an additional $1,000 allowance on Dodge Ram 1500 Quad Cab. Plus, make no monthly payments until 2007. Offer ends June 30th.
You paid for 300 horses. Are you sure you're getting all of them? Choose Q from Quaker State. Q's patented heat-activated formula fights power-robbing friction better than any conventional oil to help maximize power and let all your horses come out. Q from Quaker State. Unleash all your horses. Get free tickets to Superman Returns with purchase of Q synthetic oil or oil change.
Monday. Yep. It's the King of the Grill Marathon. Party! Starts Monday at 7 a.m. only on FX.
You're gonna love this.
Really act like we're together. By 11 o'clock tonight, Johnny and Janet are cursing our souls to eternal hell.
Sometimes all you really need...
You want to make it look real, right?
Yes. Are better directions.
She's watching us right now.
Oh, really? Okay, wait a minute. I think I... Rescue Me returns with an all-new episode Tuesday, July 11th, only on FX.
J.J. Yaley led the first 8 laps on the screen. You see Dale Jr. going after him for the lead. Denny Hamlin got it. Hamlin has led the last 3 laps as he fought through way on the inside 3 wide to take the front spot.
He just got a heck of a run down that back straightaway and just drove to the inside.
Now Junior's been up alongside him. They were half a car length apart at the finish line last time by. And now Dale Jr. in that bright red Johns Mansville car has faded to 4th as Reed Sorensen goes past.
He just can't get enough help up there on the high side.
Help's coming, though. He and the left hooked up. That's a good combination right there.
That's Stephen Light in the number 90 Robert Yates car on the high side behind Menard in the 11.
As we went to break, Brian Vickers, running on the outside, found himself in the wrong place when they got 3 wide. Johnny Sauter, Kyle Busch, and Vickers.
Sauter just makes a little move up toward the 5 car there, and it pushed him over into Brian Vickers. And Vickers ended up with the most damage in that deal.
Left front tire rub there on Vickers' car.
But that's what we're talking about when they're 3 wide. The racetrack's wide enough that someone makes just one small wrong move.
That group continues to battle. How about Brian Vickers, Steve?
Mike, initially Brian Vickers thought his tire was going down, but he told crew chief Peter Suspenzo just seconds ago that he thought the rub was getting better, and Peter said, you're going to have to make that call. Try and ride it out if you can, but don't be crazy.
Car in the wall, turn one, got away after a scrape. Reed Sorensen
and Menard, they got together and they just couldn't get off of each other, pushed each other right up to the wall. Sorensen paid the big price on that go around. That's the downside of being on the outside. Watch this.
Watch the 41.
They hung together. Sorensen gets up there. I don't think he made any hard contact.
Don't look like he hardly even touched the outside wall.
I think that's another advantage to this aero package. You got so much rear blade that when this thing turns sideways, it just buries itself, and you're able to drive out of it.
Dale Jr. continues to fight Denny Hamlin for the lead.
Now he has Carl Edwards in the 60 car behind him, pushing him up through there.
Kevin Harvick, who had to start 42nd after a penalty post-qualifying, has climbed into the top 20. Harvick 17. As Junior's going to try and make it stick into turn 3, but don't know if he's going to get there.
Just seems like right now, as you spoke a while ago, that yellow line is your friend. It's your friend. It looks like it's your friend to continue to have the lead of the race. He continues to fight up there on the high side.
Who's going to lead this lap? Hamlin. Yet again.
These guys have become so draft savvy, all these guys, even Hamlin. Watch when he gets right up against Dale Jr. and side drafts him. He gets the advantage. Hamlin does and is able to pull back in front of Dale Jr.
Junior was one of the first drivers at Daytona to talk about that side suck, that pull you get off a car when you're right alongside like this.
He learned that from his dad, and always wanted his dad was always doing that, and I always thought he was just trying to wreck me. He was aggravating, but he knew what he was doing.
Well, can Junior lead this lap? Little bobble by Hamlin coming off 4. Advantage at the line. Dale Jr. He led that one.
See how Junior tried to get out away from him that time?
By yourself, 2 back of that line helping you. Still inside, 3 rows deep.
Well, he almost brushed the wall right there.
They are using every inch of this racetrack, and that just tells you there's not a lot of grip out there. Up high there is.
He got a good run off turn 2 on the high side. He's actually going to be able to fall in front of Denny Hamlin in the 20 car. Now he solidly has the lead.
Yaley trying to come back on the inside, and Vickers trying to get up there to be of some help and propel them both forward. 16 of 100 laps complete. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Denny Hamlin, J.J. Yaley, and Carl Edwards, your leaders.
Sometimes more is one too many. Know your limit.
It's an Applebee's garden party with those salads fresh and new. Apple walnut chicken and Tuscan shrimp, just to name a few. Applebee's salad perfection, we're expecting you.
No matter how you prepare for your next ride,
there's only one way to get there, mate, and that's in a Featherlight trailer.
yes, in a Featherlight.
Whether you're livestock, horses, race cars, motorcycles, or other cargo, choose Featherlight.
A versatile, easy-towing aluminum Featherlight is everything you want.
The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary things.
Armor All Wax,
everyone ought
wipes, and tire shines. Go ahead, stare.
Drop the bomb on razor irritation.
Aqua Velva Ice Bomb. Alcohol-free vitamin-infused lotion for razor-irritated skin. Mega soothing. Aqua Velva Ice Bomb Aftershave.
From Morgan Spurlock, creator of Super Size Me, a new season of the hit series that lets you try on someone else's life for size. 30 Days premieres Wednesday, July 26th on FX.
The sun is set in Daytona Beach, and all those candle power light up the night sky from the Goodyear blimp. Goodyear Eagle tires with carbon fiber technology for enhanced handling and performance. Bringing you our aerial coverage tonight.
Things are settling down just a little bit here at lap 20. Now, you heard Chris Myers in the pre-race talk about Kevin Harvick, the 21 car, our points leader. His qualifying time disallowed, unapproved aerodynamic modification started at the rear. He has now cracked the top 10. It's almost like he waited till things settled down a little bit, then he started working his way up through there.
Oh, yeah, I watched him. He wasn't even aggressive on the start. He just fell all the way to the back and rode about 5 laps, kind of looking things over.
And Larry, must have been a pretty serious infraction because they escorted his crew chief out of the Speedway.
Well, it was totally different from what happened to Chad Canals for the Daytona 500 with Jimmy Johnson, but very similar. Aerodynamics at Daytona, they disallowed his qualifying time, and I'm sure more will follow on Tuesday. That's somewhat penalty day in NASCAR. Probably points and a monetary fine.
But Harvick is coming. He's cracked the top 10. Just past Johnny Sauter for 8th place, and he's right up there to the lead draft.
Kind of like the old days with the 8 car, Larry. Like, follow me, I'm the Pied Piper.
That's it.
They line up behind him, but there's Carl Edwards looking underneath him, and as good as Junior is up high, Carl is that good down low. And JJ right there in the 20 car Hamlin.
And here comes Brian Vickers in the 57 car. Remember, had that incident off turn 4, had a tire rub. He's worked his way back in the top 5.
I tell you, I've been impressed with Vickers' improvement on these restrictor plate races. I mean, he did really good here in February in the Cup car. Had great runs at Talladega, finished 2nd. Finished 3rd in the Cup race on Sunday over there. And tonight he's up here looking pretty good. And we know he's got a little damage from that contact earlier.
He just doesn't have a teammate up there right now like he did at Talladega.
And where's Tony? By himself in 26th place in that Dollar General Chevy. 9.5 seconds off the lead. Jeff?
Mike, I've been watching Tony. It's almost like he got shook out of the draft. And once he lost him, he is now slowly going back toward this other group, which is being led by Casey Kane and Bernie Lamar, which happens to be definitely his car is not working very good. And Dick Bergen, what's he saying on the radio?
Well, he says he is just working the steering wheel as hard as he can. He said, quote, the car is real unhappy. But let's remember back to February. Tony Stewart also had a new car. Huge adjustments required to get the car to handle properly, including a shock absorber change. He won the race.
Yeah, not counting an off-track excursion.
That's right. Down through the infield, back up on the racetrack. Whatever's ill with that car, they've got 77 laps to figure it out.
Tell you what, pretty impressed with this young man right here, Stephen Light. This is only his 7th Busch Series driving for Robert Yates Racing. He qualified up there in the 4th position. And you know what? He's been very patiently hanging out here in the top 10. Right now, he's up there battling in the top 5. Good run. Man.
Well, you know, Larry, the Yates cars in general always run good at Daytona and Talladega. I mean, if they're looking forward to going somewhere, it's here in Talladega. And the Busch car is very, very the same way.
4 drivers within 1 second of the lead, but Matt Dale Earnhardt Jr. appears to have a car that can pull away.
Junior has tried the bottom, he's tried the top. Junior says the car is just way too loose on exit. He needs to be extremely careful when he tries to run the bottom. That's why you see that he is climbed to the high side for the most part. His internet racing buddy, Denny Hamlin, his car is really free. He's just trying to hang on, and his corporate teammate in the 11, Paul Menard, extremely tight in that fluorescent yellow car.
Well, that's the complaint I heard from almost every driver. Their cars were just really, really loose, looser than they've ever had them here before.
Tell you somebody else, we've been talking about Kevin Harvick, the move he has made from the rear of the field. Michael Waltrip in this 99 car, he started back in 37th. He has now worked his way up to the 14th position, but you know what? He's got some big shoes to fill. David Ruderman, the last 3 races in this car, top 10 finishes.
It has caught Michael's attention. Of course, it's getting mine, too, because I'm going to drive that thing in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Martinsville, July the 22nd.
Another Ford brother.
Stephen Light has moved into fourth behind Earnhardt, Yaley, and Edwards.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. All new back-to-back episodes, Thursday at 10, only on FX.
Maybe it's time to upgrade. Upgrade today to Comcast Digital Cable. More channels, more movies, more music. Just call 1-888-COMCAST. Comcast Digital Cable. It's Comcastic.
For people without health insurance, the high cost of health care can be a tough pill to swallow. But now there's a plan that can ease the pain of those without health insurance or other benefits. The Ingham Health Plan offers free health coverage to working singles, working families, just about anyone who needs coverage. And aside from a small copay for prescriptions and visits, the Ingham Health Plan won't cost you a cent. Call today to find out if you qualify for the Ingham Health Plan. 887-4465. It may be the cure you've been looking for.
Dear Jerry, just wanted to let you know what a great time we're having on vacation. We had plans to go to Pictured Rocks. The weather was forecasted to be cold and rainy, so at the last minute we changed our minds and drove south to the Smoky Mountains. It's been beautiful, sunny, and 80 every day. We couldn't change our plans this easy with hotel reservations.
Thanks to Perry's, another happy family. Whatever your vacation dreams are, we got it at Gillette Interstate RV.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, come on. Watch the clover. My car will turn over. This isn't one.
Running out of luck getting your car started?
There you go.
For advice on keeping your car going, go to NASCAR.com and click on Auto Service.
28 laps in here in Daytona, your 4th of July weekend. Glad to have you with us watching Busch Series racing here on FX. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. leading his 8th straight Daytona Busch Series race. Of course, he has 4 wins here, second all-time only to his father, who had 7. Jeff Hammond, let's talk a little bit about the way Jr. has taken control of this race.
Well, right now, I mean, he's got it from the top side. He was talking how loose his car was. But I think talking to Tony Eury Sr., he's going to let Pop know exactly what he needs to do that first time this car comes to pit road. They'll make some adjustments and get it back where he can go to the bottom of the racetrack. But right now, he's just out there cruising, and I think this is where experience comes into play. He recognized early he needed to get up top, keep that car, under him. He's done a really good job so far of keeping it wide open. A lot of guys can't keep up with him.
We've only had a couple of lead changes, 3 different leaders. Denny Hamlin, who last year, Dale Earnhardt Jr. told us he was the most underrated driver. And those two have had a little competition in video games where usually Hamlin gets the best of them, even racing a little dirt track. But Jr. getting the best of this right now.
Right now he is, but I think, again, a lot of these drivers can't wait to get to pit road. We watched Denny Hamlin going to the high side of Brian Vickers, trying to fight back and regain 4th position. But for a lot of these teams, they're talking about what these cars need on that first pit stop. Track's starting to cool off for the day's hot sun. It may get a little bit more grip, but I think a lot of teams are really looking to that first pit stop, which won't be that far down the road here, of what they need to do to make the right adjustments to get up through there. But guys, one of the cats that's been running pretty good happens to be John Andretti. I thought he started back here in 30th, worked his way up in the top 10. Talked to John earlier. He felt like his car was going to work really well. He's got experience as far as winning here. So he may be a factor before the night, and we've seen a lot of these Busch regulars get stronger in recent races.
Andretti in the 10 car, a 43-year-old rookie, and you see that the youngster Light is all the way up to 3rd. Mike?
Dale Jr.'s opened up a lead of 3 seconds, and he did it in traffic. There was a pack of 4 slow cars running by themselves, and when Dale came up and lapped them, he got through them easily and cleanly. Obviously, Carl Edwards, Stephen Light, Brian Vickers, and the rest of the pack did not.
I have not seen a car this dominant in a restrictor plate race, and I can't remember when, Larry. I mean, his lap times are it's 3/4 of a second faster than second place Carl Edwards.
Yeah, not in Nextel Cup, not in Busch, not with any aero package have we seen this.
I mean, when you're that much faster than everybody else, you're not going to race them. You don't have to race them, that's for sure.
Been talking about Kevin Harvick, that 21 car points leader. He has now moved up to the 4th position right there in the 21. Steve, no problem coming from the rear for this 21 car.
Larry Mackey's having a good time out there. I think the track is starting to go through a change right now. Kevin Harvick just said, I started off loose in, and right now my race car is tight off. Dick?
J.J. Yaley, who had started on the pole, has dropped back to the 6th position. He said that his car has become extremely loose. Stephen Light, who, by the way, is just 19 years old, driving car number 90, had worked his way all the way to the 3rd position, got shuffled back to 8th. His car also very, very loose. They had worked on that car to try to tighten it up for the race. Matty.
The 60, Carl Edwards running in the 2nd spot. Now his car a little on the free side, but he doesn't want to make a big swing at it when they make their pit stop as far as adjustments go, while some other guys are really looking to make significant adjustments, like the 5 of Kyle Busch. They want to make wedge, significant track bar, 3 rounds up, and air pressure on that 5 car.
Thanks, Matt. Stephen Light may only be 19, but he knows how the new NASCAR works. During a televised interview yesterday, he managed to mention his sponsor twice. Had to look to be sure of the name of his crew chief. That's the new NASCAR, Larry.
And he never blinked an eye with that sponsor mentioned.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. doing a bit of rim riding, but he continues to stretch his advantage over Carl Edwards.
So we cut down on overhead by reducing staff. Now, what are you guys doing to save us money? Okay, Barry.
Well, we started using FedEx Ground, so we get reliability and their latest technology to help us save time and money.
Nice work, Barry. Let's say we get some lunch in here, huh?
Hello?
Yes, could we get some lunch, please?
FedEx Ground. Fast, reliable, and their latest technology. All for less than you think.
Old DW, I've been tough on him the last few years.
I'd say no. What? You're the only sap I see, sucker. 2 drivers, 1 car equals no chance, brother.
I've decided it's time to make it up to him.
It's time for Darrell to drive the old Aaron's Dream Machine. You don't want to miss the NASCAR Busch Race, July 22nd at Martinsville. Aaron's partners are 100% for it. They can't wait. It's finally going to happen. Am I happy about this?
We say 10, you say stop.
Kate and Tim don't know the score. Greg does. He got his credit score from freecreditreport.com. Don't be like them. Get the score. Log on to freecreditreport.com to get your free credit score and report, and you'll be entered for a chance to win an honorary crew chief position with Greg Biffle at a 2007 NASCAR Series race. No purchase necessary to enter or win. See website for details. Free credit score and report with enrollment in Triple Advantage.
And you'll experience the kids in a whole different way. Every one of them. What will you discover? Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com for a free video and see an RV dealer.
To those who say NASCAR isn't a sport, they may be right. It's a way of life. Busch Beer, for 25 years running, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
NASCAR Busch Series racing on FX is sponsored by Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series, 25 years running. Dale Earnhardt Jr. working past Tim Sauter, the Lester Building Chevy, and he has 3 seconds on Carl Edwards.
What's making this car so fast, though, Mike, is he's able to, I guarantee you, he's holding it wide open. And everybody else they're having little handling issues. I'm not saying Dale Jr. doesn't have handling issues. We'll see him here in a minute. And he's making it look easy, but it's not all that easy. Well, just watch what I'm talking about. I mean, he's out here pulling away from the field, but he's not on cruise. Watch his car move around. Right there, he just about gets the back of it into the wall. I mean, he's driving the wheels off of it, pulling away.
Darrell Richard Petty used to run that groove here at Daytona right up against the wall. And Petty said he found that the pressure of the air coming off the car created an air cushion between the car and the wall. It wasn't stable. The car would bounce around a bit, but it wouldn't hit the wall because of that cushion of air.
And you have to get the confidence, Mike, that it's not going to hit the wall.
Right.
Stay in the gas and drive it, not back off and say, oh, gee, I'm going to hit the wall.
Now, later, engineers found that made the car more draggy, shoving that air between the car and the wall, and in some cases could slow a car down. So you don't see it happen as much, but Junior is right up there in the Richard Petty groove.
I doubt if the car that Richard Petty drove had the aerodynamic research and development that these cars today have.
That's for certain.
Now, Carl Edwards in the 60 car, he has about a 3.5-second lead on this battle right here for third between Denny Hamlin and the 20, his teammate J.J. Yaley, as well as Brian Vickers in the 57 car on the bottom.
I mean, other than Junior, this is the way we normally see restrictor plate racing going here. Everybody kind of wadded up in a pack.
Here comes the Coast Guard to the rescue. Kevin Harvick passes Clint Boyer, goes after J.J. Yaley, and if he completes the pass, we'll move up to 5th.
And then he's only got about 4 seconds to make up to catch up with Dale Jr.
Right before we went away from that shot, you could hear Clint Boyer. You were talking about it. He was having to roll out of the throttle just a little bit. That's the difference.
I think if we ever get a pit stop here and the guys get a chance to work on their cars, they might be able to get up there with Dale Jr. But obviously he hit it just right on the get-go here.
Next time by, we'll complete 100 miles of this race, caution-free.
And we're within about a 10 to 12 lap window of that pit stop. I think as we get close to lap 50, you're going to see most of these cars start hitting pit road because, hey, you don't want to run out of fuel here. You know if you make it to lap 50, you can make it to the end without stopping again.
Junior the leader, Edwards 4 seconds back, and Brian Vickers 8 seconds back in third. There he is, right here. And here's Steve.
You know, Mike, we always hear how important handling is here at the Daytona International Speedway. Brian Vickers in that third position just told his crew handling is more of a factor right now than the draft.
Well, when you have to get out of the throttle, you better believe it is.
I say this all the time, but my favorite quote from a crew chief was, this thing's got 450 horsepower if you hold it wide open. And that's what Dale Jr. is doing, and he's pulling away from the field.
100 of 250 miles complete in Daytona.
Fellas, I'm just waiting for an email. I'll be just a minute.
No problem.
So, by the way, great job today.
I mean, it wasn't too hard.
Was that your email notification?
Yeah.
I never had you pegged for a quack guy.
You don't think it's funny?
It's really funny.
Oh, it is funny, yeah. I like ducks.
The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary things.
Armor All Wax, wipes, and tire shines. Go ahead, stare.
Get a fresh start on summer with a fresh, crisp salad. Now with any Ruby Tuesday entree you choose, add our No Limit Salad Bar for just $2.79. Only at Ruby Tuesday. Simple, fresh, American dining.
When success is real, it shows.
Introducing new Just for Men. Its new True Color formula targets only gray, easy as shampooing, for a natural look that is real. Real to the eye, real to the touch, real where it counts. New True Color Just for Men.
See your dealer for financing as low as 3.99% or a $1,000 cash allowance.
It is the most elite military academy in the world's most powerful nation.
If you become officers, this is where they're going to put your mistakes.
Few are chosen. Only the best survive. Annapolis. Own it today on DVD.
Listen to your favorite driver live with Race Day Scanner. Get it and other exclusive content online through AOL.com/sports and NASCAR.com.
You guys are awesome!
44 of 100 laps complete. Average speed, 181 miles an hour. We've been caution-free. Jeff Spraker's just taken his Every and McCabe Chevrolet to the garage, where he will join Shane Hall as the two cars out of the race.
The deal making is starting here. We're about 6 to 8 laps away from those pit stops. And here at Daytona, like Talladega, when you make a green flag stop, you'd like to have a partner coming with you. Maybe you can get hooked up. Because I'm going to tell you, if Dale Earnhardt Jr. had a partner, there's no telling how fast he would be.
Here come a couple of the leaders. Denny Hamlin's coming into pit road. And a lot of brake lockup for his teammate, J.J. Yaley, right behind him.
And I think it's safe to say that these stops will be for 4 tires, fill them up with fuel. I think these guys right here know they can probably make it to the end from here.
Stephen Light and Mike Wallace in as well. Dick?
J.J. Yaley, who won the pole for this race, has said that his car is really loose. They're going to put 4 tires on the car with a little less air pressure to try to give him better grip. They also hope to put tape on the grill. Matty?
Denny Hamlin, you can already see they've made a chassis adjustment. His car extremely loose. Started the day 4th. Looking for also an air pressure adjustment. Let's go back upstairs.
Tony Stewart is in. So is Danny O'Quinn. Casey Kane comes to the pit lane along with Kevin LePage and Bernie Lamar.
Boy, a long, long stop on this 90 car for Stephen Light. That's the thing. If you're only going to make it in one stop, Dick, you can't have mistakes. No, and that was a long stop all on the right rear, Larry. Mechanics just under that right rear trying to get the tires squared away. Oh, and now the NASCAR official is holding Light on pit road. So he's got a penalty on top of that, and that is likely to ruin his chance of winning the race tonight.
Vickers, Harvick, and Boyer in. Steve?
Kevin Harvick says he is loose getting in, getting too free. Todd Berrier said 10-4, we're going to tighten you up 4 tires, and Harvick is away.
Paul Tracy, Jay Sauter, and John Wood to the pit lane.
Now, the one saving grace of the field being strung out, Darrell, pit road is pretty calm with these green flag stops.
Yeah, I saw a couple of issues there. The 9 car got blocked in. Somebody came in front of 56 car did, I think. But other than that, it was pretty clean.
Stephen Light's penalty was for pitting out of the box. David Green brings the Kleenex car in for a wipe. And the 88 is in. That was Mark McFarland's car, and Martin Truex Jr. is in for McFarland tonight.
Saw a mistake on Paul Tracy's car, the 34 car. It actually fell off the jack on the pit stop, and here comes, looks like Ashton Lewis Jr. in the 25 car, locking him up.
Tracy Hines just behind him. So green flag stops continue. The leaders have not yet been in. Clint Boyer's coming back in for a second time. And that will hurt his chances tonight.
Yeah, green flag pit stops. I tell you, there's just a lot of pressure on these teams to do it in 14 seconds and do it right.
Well, and they've been out there running for 48 laps, almost 40 minutes at over 180 miles per hour, and they're trying to get down to 55 miles per hour. That has to be hard to do.
Curtis Davis is in, so is Stacy Compton and Stedman Marlin. Now, about the first 10 or 11 drivers have not yet made their stops.
And I think, again, in the next 1 or 2 laps, because we're 2 laps away from halfway, I think you will definitely see all of these guys on pit road.
Here's Todd Cleaver coming in, the 16. That's Greg Biffle. And the 66.
Stop showing you box if you can, but just come around the 95.
Scott Wimmer in as well.
Greg Biffle is a little bit aggravated with that situation right there. You could almost see it. Now, that's a bad move on those crew chiefs. You've got this window of laps to pit, and you've got 3 of them pitting together. It's just costing you valuable time. You need to communicate with each other and maybe stagger the laps that you come in.
Make that 4 in a row as P.J. Jones comes in as well. Here's a crowd. John Andretti, Michael Waltrip, Paul Menard, Sorensen, McMurray,
on the brake.
Busch, and Johnny Sauter. Steve.
Mike Reed Sorensen told Brian Patty, his crew chief, that the rear end is rotating very well, but the front end isn't working well at all. You see Kyle Busch stop on pit road to the right of your screen.
Yeah, he missed his pit. Steve, P.J. Jones, I think it was coming out. Kyle didn't come in. Matt?
And you've got Dale Earnhardt Jr. on his way down to his pit box. 4 different teams as the 66 crew members are running down pit road to push their car. 4 different teams came to Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s pit to see exactly when he was going to hit pit road. The 66 team pushing their car back. Junior stops a little long in the box. You can see the track bar adjustment being made.
Well, Edwards can't get in his pit, Matt.
Bad entry in his pit box. He's at an angle. He was saying he could barely hold on to it as Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s service is complete. The back of the car hanging out of the pit box. Left side tires going on. The car just way too loose. He couldn't run exactly on the racetrack where he wanted. Air pressure adjustment for the 60.
They were pushing the 66 backwards, and Edwards had to loop around him and then duck into the pit box.
Here we see Kevin Hamlin in the 4-car in. Dale Earnhardt Jr., of course, has now made his pit stop as we're halfway. But a lot of mistakes on pit road by drivers and crews that really are going to be costly when you have a race that has no caution so far.
Yeah, but none were made by that crowd right there. I mean, they were perfect on the pits.
This is Scott Wimmer's crew pushing his car back down pit road just about the time they get to where Carl Edwards in the 60 car needs to turn in. Carl Edwards can't turn in. And the clock is ticking the whole time that's going on.
Jason Leffler has made his stop. He is the last of the lead lap cars to pit. What a tough break for Hamlin. He may have been out of gas. He can't get him going.
Looks like to me some of these guys pushed the envelope on that fuel. So could be costly for Kevin Hamlin in his 4-car. Now they're looking for a little bit of ether maybe to get this car cranked. But the clock's ticking.
Green flag stops are complete. We're halfway in the Winn Dixie 250 presented by Pepsi.
You paid for 300 horses. Are you sure you're getting all of them? Choose Q from Quaker State. Q's patented heat-activated formula fights power-robbing friction better than any conventional oil to help maximize power and let all your horses come out. Q from Quaker State. Unleash all your horses. Get free tickets to Superman Returns with purchase of Q synthetic oil or oil change.
This is for the kids, for the pets. It's for story time, for the great outdoors, and the chance of a lifetime. This is for all the little reasons that are bigger than NASCAR. Introducing the NASCAR Foundation, created to support the causes and charities that mean the most to all of us.
Get involved. Show your compassion as part of the NASCAR family. Visit NASCAR.com to learn how.
The NASCAR Foundation, for all the right reasons.
The Michigan Regional Council of Carpenters and Millwrights are dedicated to serving our highly skilled membership while improving the communities where we live and work. Union carpenters donated their time and expertise to building over 200 ramps statewide, providing independence to the physically challenged. Our commitment extends to refurbishing our schools, rehabilitating playgrounds, constructing quality homes for those in need, and helping to raise funds for the NFL's Caring for Kids charity. The Michigan Regional Council of Carpenters and Millwrights, building a better economic future for Michigan today.
I'm Brian Elias, president of 800 Hansons. You need new windows, you get them from my factory. A window is only as good as the factory that builds it, and the factory is only as good as what they put into their windows. Let's let Alex here show you my kid-safe glass. Go ahead, Alex.
It's the summer sale. Get a $75 trade-in for your old windows.
Get my factory's commercial-grade windows with my exclusive kid-safe glass and get it done for less.
Call 1-800-HANDSOME.
Independence Day will be celebrated with fireworks from one end of the continent to the other. From this day forward, Phantom fireworks, brighter, louder, safer. When America wants fireworks, America buys Phantom. Thousands of locations with every type of consumer fireworks available. On sale now. Phantom fireworks, lighting up backyards of America from coast to coast. Visit fireworks.com for a location near you.
54 laps complete. Dale Earnhardt Jr. 10 seconds up on J.J. Yaley. Here's a look at the Craftsman pit summary. Nice move by Yaley's crew to get him from 6th to 2nd.
And the thing about Junior is here, let's see what the 5 car, he's got problems here in the pits.
These are pit problems under green. You see the 5 car could not get into his pit box because of the 43 car turning out. Has to back up. All these are under green flag stops.
Hold on, Larry. Caution's out.
Caution is out. And that is good news for a ton of good race cars like Greg Biffle, Tony Stewart, Ashton Lewis Jr., Casey K, John Wood. There you see the 9 car having to be backed up under these green flag stops. Clint Boyer having to make a 2nd stop. All this happened within about a 4 to 5 lap window. He just missed his pit box.
100 seconds.
And the caution, the first one of the night, is for debris in the backstretch. 55 laps we went, including a pit stop at an average speed of 178 miles an hour.
Now, one thing I noticed about the 8 car, he didn't pass anybody on the He passed every one of those cars he got around and drove off from in the turns, which tells me his car is just handling perfect. Or at least it's handling better than everybody else's.
John Wood will get the free pass, a.k.a. the Aaron's dog, since he was the first car 1 lap down when the caution came out.
There were a lot of cars fighting to stay that first car a lap down. He just happened to be the lucky one when the caution came out. I guess that's why they call it the lucky dog.
That's exactly why they call it the lucky dog there. Me and you are, but
we're all over it, aren't we?
Masters of the obvious.
But you've always told me, stick to what I know.
Well, Aaron is talking about it. That's all. They like that, so I guess that's good.
Matt?
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. out front. Now, this is a lot of back and forth about that 8 car and its handling. They've made, but this is some conversation between Jr. and his team right before the caution.
I'm not leading, am I? Yes. By 10 seconds, over a second. Oh, I thought that was the leaders in front of me. Negative. So, Strider. Sorry, Pop.
Evidently, the pattern's not full because the 8 guys are up on the wall, possibly going to hit pit road. A lot of conversation back and forth between Yuri Sr. and his nephew, Dale Earnhardt Jr. So the car now just a tick on the tight side. It was loose that first run.
Oh, I think even though it's only been, Matt, 6 or 8 laps since most of these guys were on pit road, they really haven't to adjust on their race cars. I think you're going to see a lot of them possibly make pit stops here.
Plus, you're going to buy yourself some insurance now, Larry. I mean, this thing, you know, like we talk about, if it goes into overtime, you're cutting it pretty close on fuel. You might want to come in and top out, put a little fuel in her.
Didn't happen. Pit road is open. The leaders stayed out.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr. stayed out. Here comes the rest of them.
Well, this should make things really interesting. Carl Edwards leads J.J. Yaley, Brian Vickers, Kevin Harvick, Menard, Wallace, Andretti, and a whole lot of others down pit road, Steve.
Kevin Harvick said he was way too loose on that run, so they're going to make a track bar adjustment down 2 rounds and an air pressure adjustment out of the right front. Dick.
Yaley's car was handling far better after the last pit stop, but he would not have had enough fuel to make it all the way to the end. There go the pit stop to that.
And the 60 in. Still trying to work on the balance of Carl Edwards' car. He's away. Air pressure adjustment for Edwards.
Tough stop for Casey Kane. He came in, locked up the brake, and overshot his pit. They had to back him up.
Honestly, I am not surprised with what happened there. Dale Earnhardt Jr., an awesome race car. It's driving good. He only had 4 or 5 laps on his tires. Everyone else obviously needed some adjustments to try to just get in the same zip code as this 8 car.
We're under caution for the first time tonight for debris in the backstretch. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leading.
Could 30 days change the way you look at life? Try spending it in prison. That's 30 showers. Or awakening your inner child with New Age therapy. And what happens when an atheist joins the flock?
We have been enlisted into the Lord's army.
From Morgan Spurlock, creator of Super Size Me, comes the return of 30 Days.
Join me as we try on someone else's life for size.
30 Days, an all-new season, premieres Wednesday, July 26th, only on FX.
Celebrate your financial independence at your Dodge dealer with 0% financing for 60 months or up to $5,000 cash allowance. Plus, make no monthly payments until 2007. Save on Ram 1500 Quad Cab with the most interior room in its class. Durango with available 8-passenger seating. And Grand Caravan with a 5-star government crash test rating and exclusive stow-and-go seating. Now, current owners get an additional $1,000 loyalty cash allowance on Dodge Ram 1500 Quad Cab. Plus, make no monthly payments until 2007. Offer ends June 30th.
Sometimes one more is one too many. Know your limit.
Yeah, let me hear it. We say 10, you say stop.
Kate and Tim don't know the score. Greg does. He got his credit score from freecreditreport.com. Don't be like them. Get the score. Log on to freecreditreport.com to get your free credit score and report, and you'll be entered for a chance to win an honorary crew chief position with Greg Biffle at a 2007 NASCAR Series race. No purchase necessary to enter or win. See website for details. Free credit score and report with enrollment in Triple Advantage.
You're watching NASCAR Busch Series racing on FX. 42 laps to go. Only 1 caution so far. The record for fewest cautions in a Busch Series race is 3. And right now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. threatening to pull away. Kyle Busch, Larry, Darrell, and Mike have referred to a pinball type of series of racing. There's Reed Sorensen, Johnny Sauter caught up in the bump drafting. We have not had any major crashes or wrecks. And it's been close from start to finish.
And we already see bump drafting started early on tonight. Kyle Busch gets a little bit of a bump to the 64 car, but you know, the thing is right now, Chris, the cars are not handling very good, so we're not seeing a whole lot of this early on in this race.
It was on lap 16, and we saw some pit problems having an effect. This is J.J. Yaley, the pole sitter. He's saying, get tape.
Yeah, he needs a little bit of downforce on the front of his car to try to help up a little bit. Crew member gets it on just as it drives off. It didn't stick, though, but he got a chance later on to put it back on.
Jason Ratcliffe, the crew chief. Dale Earnhardt Jr. taking over on lap 16 from Denny Hamlin and is holding on. Our Supercuts trivia question, who are the only drivers to win a Daytona Busch race from the pole? Again, Yaley, your pole sitter here. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. out in front, and the other, as Larry McReynolds pointed out, the other guys really had to pit. They're not catching up, making up any ground.
Well, the first 3 guys, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Michael Waltrip, and Jason Leffler, all stayed on the racetrack, but the rest of the field came down because, hey, they could not handle him the way he was. They had to work on their race cars, so you got to take advantages of these caution flags to try to make your car better if you expect to get up there and challenge this 8 car tonight.
Jeff, 41 laps to go, and the byproduct of a car may be going out in front like this with the hard tires. We might see Junior continue to dominate.
I think right now he's the only car out there, at least early on, that could hold it wide open. The rest of them couldn't do it, so they had to work on their cars, Chris.
The answer to our Supercuts trivia, the only driver to win a Daytona Busch race from the pole, and we have 2, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Joe Nemechek, and of course Junior leading now under caution ahead of Michael Waltrip and Jason Leffler. Let's rejoin Darrell, Larry, and Mike. Cars from 5th on back were cars that made pit stops under this caution. So Jason Leffler and John Andretti moved up to 3rd and 4th. Michael Waltrip up to 2nd. Tomorrow night in Daytona, we go 400 miles under the lights for the Nextel Cup cars. There are tickets available. Ticket office will be open all day here in Daytona, or come and get them at the gate and get a good look at the World Center of Speed at the speed of light.
Don't forget that great fireworks show tomorrow night either after the race. It's going to be huge.
And now it's the sprint to the chase for the Nextel Cup. 10 to go till we get to that race leads into the final 10.
Should we maybe copyright that?
I think so. It sounds good.
Unless somebody already did.
Well.
All right, here we go with 25 cars on the lead lap. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear carbon fiber technology for better handling and performance. The Goodyear blimp flying high above the speedway as the green flag waves for the restart.
Well, we'll see who made the right changes on their cars as if they can hang with Dale Jr.
And I think the thing it's safe to say, the 3 cars that stayed out and those 21 cars that pitted on the lead lap, they can all make it to the end without pitting as we've got 40 laps to go.
But Larry, just on that restart right there, that's just incredible acceleration to be able to pull off from everybody like that. Now, here they come. They're going to chase him down. Hopefully make a race out of this here, I'm thinking. But, man, he just sets out there and leads them around here.
Comes Carl Edwards in the 60 car. Getting a little push from J.J. Yaley. He's going to slide up in front of P.J. Jones. The 60 car got a good run through the middle of 3 and 4.
Yeah, and Yaley just couldn't get there in time to clear the lapped car. Matt, trouble. Turn 4, 3 cars sideways.
Oh, here we go.
Bunches and bunches. Here comes another one. The 2 cars all the way through the grass.
Reed Sorensen in it hard, along with Paul Tracy, the IndyCar star, and Clint Boyer are the 3 cars that spun. Johnny Sauter has damage to the nose of his 00, and we're under caution for the 2nd time tonight because cautions breed cautions.
Danny O'Quinn hard into the outside wall in that 50 car.
Darrell, what happened here mid-pack?
Let's see if we can look back here and see who got into who. Somebody probably slid up the hill a little bit. Sorensen is sticking his nose in there between those 2 cars of Paul Tracy and whoever that was on the
Kevin
outside
LePage.
there, Kevin LePage. No place to go, and they made contact. And from there, the wreck is on.
Johnny Sauter, the 00, getting some damage coming down pit road.
And O'Quinn was put into the wall by the car behind him as they slowed to avoid it. Watch the 41.
41 just trying to go where there's no way he could go there. There's not enough room. And when Paul Tracy needed a little room to come up, the 41 was in the hole.
Paul Menard, the 11 car, down through the grass.
Now, in the defense of Sorensen, he's got people on his back bumper. And so if he's got a hole there and he eases out the throttle to give those guys some room, then he's going to get run over.
Let's ride with Clint Boyer.
Ought to be siding.
Yikes.
All the drivers out of their cars and okay.
How you get to work isn't nearly as important as how you get away from it. Easy drinking Busch Light. Head for the mountains of Busch.
The majestic humpback whale, nature's public speaker.
The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary things.
Armor All Wax, wipes, and tire shines. Go ahead, stare.
Old DW, I've been tough on him the last few years. I'd say no. What? You're the only sap I see, sucker. 2 drivers, 1 car equals no chance, brother. I've decided it's time to make it up to him.
It's time for Darrell to drive the old Aaron's Dream Machine. You don't want to miss the NASCAR Busch Race, July 22nd at Martinsville. Aaron's partners are 100% for it. They can't wait. It's finally going to happen. Am I happy about this?
Laps complete in Daytona. We went 56 laps caution free, then a debris caution set up a calamitous restart with a big crash happening coming off turn number 4. Here's our Aqua Velva out of the blue moment. Watch 41, middle of the track. Paul Tracy coming up a bit. Sorensen makes contact once, twice, and then the game is on.
A number of people did a nice job of getting through that mess. That's at real time. This one.
From Kenny Wallace.
Stay high, stay high. Come down low, come down low. Good job, come on, come on.
There was one of those number of people.
You are some lucky.
That's our Aqua Velva out of the blue moment.
In the head, get it slowed down. I'll tell you where to go. Just get back down. Pit road's fine. Pit road's fine if you need to get there. Stay on the racetrack now. Get up high, and you're clear. Clear. Come on, come on, come on. You're good. Nothing coming at you hard. Nice job.
Greg Biffle, Aqua Velva keeps your face toned and fit. You know what women say? It just feels better.
Fine, are you okay?
With an Aqua Velva band.
I love that. That spotter did an outstanding job of getting him through that.
It was calm the entire time.
I'll tell you where to go. I'll tell you what to do. Just back it down. I love that.
The red flag is out. We've completed 63 laps, and the field has been stopped. And here's why. It's not just the debris cleanup coming out of turn 4, but this is gate 7. This has been the long-time access from Speedway Boulevard across the track into the infield. That's a temporary gate that's set in place for each race. A piece of sheet metal you see right here has been lodged between gate 7 and the wall. They're going to have to remove that, so they've decided to halt this race while repairs can be made. In such case, usually we check in at the Hollywood Hotel.
All right, thanks, Mike. And under the red flag, you were talking to drivers before the race, and it was just a matter of time. And you touched on it, the hard tires, the air pressure, and we kind of saw that. It was about the 25th spot where Reed Sorensen was running when this unfolded. We've counted at least 6, maybe as many as 8 cars involved.
Well, I think, we've been kind of like dancing around this all night long because of these harder tires. I think that's why Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been able to get away from everybody else. They've had to kind of like soft pedal all during this first 50 laps of this race until they made those adjustments. When that caution came out, I think guys got a little more aggressive. They still had a lot of low air pressure. I think a lot of teams made air pressure adjustments trying to get grip to this old racetrack, and I think that was kind of contributed. Cars kind of washed up the racetrack, got together, and that triggered the big one.
And we were moving along at a record pace. Cars getting up to about, 185 miles per hour in this race. The pace wasn't that high, but obviously this is going to slow things down considerably.
Oh, definitely so, Chris. But the effectiveness of this whole deal, if you take a look, the black car on the top part of the Speedway, right there is where Reed Sorensen comes in and gets it. And I think that's Kevin LePage's car on the top side.
Okay.
He knocks him sideways, and that kind of made Reed overreact. So he turns him sideways, gets down in the 34 car of Paul Tracy, and that's where it all kind of erupted from those 2 cars, or 3 cars making contact. And then all of a sudden, here's Mike Wallace. He does a really good job. He kind of gets through there. The 4 car almost gets into it. He clears it.
Look at Paul Tracy going fast backwards.
Oh, he's at about 150 miles an hour sliding backwards.
You could say that differently.
Tony Stewart, a lot of guys made great moves. Menard, he just barely gets through. All these cars made great decisions, and it's a good thing it happened on the front side there, guys, because it hadn't been, I don't think it'd been nowhere near as many escape routes down through the grass, down pit road. A lot of guys made quick decisions and avoided really making this bigger than what it was.
And the drivers, at least out of their cars, okay. I'm sure they're a little bit rattled, shaken up. Under red flag with Dale Earnhardt Jr. leading 63 laps in and 37 to go. And those are the drivers, car numbers involved.
And you take a look here at Johnny Sauter. He had a lot of damage. His car, Clint Boyer. Paul Tracy, definitely a lot of damage. His car, Reed Sorensen. Danny O'Quinn, he was parked to the outside. I think Kevin LePage and some of the other teams, they've got a little bit of damage. I don't think it's going to keep them from going on, but they'll have to come down pit road and effect repairs.
Let's check in with Dick Berggren. Dick?
Well, at a moment like this, Chris, ordinarily you hear drivers talking about changes that they'd like to have made to their car. You know, pull a spring rubber out here, add a little bit of wedge there. J.J. Yaley has just called for an ice pack and a peanut butter and cheese sandwich to be delivered to his race car.
Thanks, Dick. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. leading 48 laps. J.J. Yaley, the pole sitter, 8 laps led in this race, and Denny Hamlin has led 7 laps. But the wreck involving, well, triggered by Reed Sorensen, involving multiple cars, has us under a red flag here in Daytona.
Drop the bomb on razor irritation. Aqua Velva Ice Bomb, an alcohol-free vitamin-infused lotion for razor-irritated skin. Mega soothing. Aqua Velva Ice Bomb Aftershave.
Henry Jones? Yeah? We're here to Bristol your ride.
All right, boys, it's showtime.
Are you ready? Here it is.
My car.
It's perfect!
The most action-packed Busch race on the circuit returns. The Food City 250, Friday night, August 25th. Bristol Motor Speedway. Racing the way it ought to be.
This is great!
Take a smooth approach. Make smooth contact with Electric Shave Pre-Shave Lotion. Stands up whiskers for up to a 52% closer shave. Electric Shave. Blade close. Electric smooth.
Cholesterol. My doctor said to watch it. So I ride my bike, eat the good stuff, and take garlic every day.
Garlic's clinically proven ingredient maintains healthy cholesterol naturally.
The doctor's happy. So am I.
Eat right, exercise, garlic.
Not long ago, cable didn't even exist. Now, cable brings us new innovative fiber optic technology each day, not each decade.
Some people like to pretend a flood could never happen to them, and that their homeowner's insurance protects them. It doesn't. Stop pretending. It can happen to you. Protect your home with flood insurance. Call 1-888-FLOOD-50 for your free brochure. That's 1-888-FLOOD-50.
Jack Black, Gwyneth Paltrow, Shallow Hal, an FX movie presentation, Thursday at 7:30, followed by an all-new episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia at 10 on FX.
Welcome back to Daytona. Tomorrow, NASCAR and Fox returns with Next Up Cup Racing. From right here, the world's best drivers take the track. Defending champ Tony Stewart trying to defend his title on NASCAR's most famous track, the Pepsi 400, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, in high definition, only on Fox. On the pre-race show, we'll talk live with Jeff Gordon, go 10 laps with Jimmy Johnson. And this is your front row. Roush Racing's Boris Said, surprising some folks. The road course specialist, Tony Stewart, the defending champ. You weren't as surprised, though, with the Roush cars and Boris Said?
Not really. I think we've seen that Jack Roush, especially with his Roush Yates power, that they can sit on a pole. And they really put a great effort behind Boris Said. I mean, Frankie Stoddard, the crew chief on this car, they did a great job preparing it and getting it where they could qualify. Now, he may start on a pole, but being this an impound race, he may not race quite as well as he'd like to.
Let's check out the race summary for this race. Currently under the red flag, Dale Earnhardt Jr. at age 31, who has had great success here, has led 48 of the 63 laps. We've only had a couple of lead changes and a couple of cautions and they were close together, and as you saw moments ago, we counted as many as 7 cars involved in that wreck. It looked like Tony Stewart was involved in or around that. The guy who was involved in maybe triggering that wreck, Reed Sorensen, and our Steve Burns is with him.
Thank you, Chris. Reed Sorensen just out of the care center. And Reed, first of all, glad you're okay. From your point of view, what happened?
Well, all I know is we started on the outside there. There was a lot of lap cars, and I think it was the 56 came up in the lead lap lane there pretty quick. And I was going to shoot through the middle between him and the 34 car, and the hole closed up real quick and got into the guy on the outside when the 34 was coming up. So that's one of those things that happens here at Daytona and Talladega a lot. But we had a pretty good car tonight, and the tire that they chose for us is really slick out there, and I think that's why you're seeing everybody so spread out, is because it's just so slick out there.
All right, good luck tomorrow night, Reed. Appreciate it. Glad you're all right. Matt?
Steve, NASCAR just passed on word to the drivers about 3 minutes from having the work completed on the gate. Now, Tony, you're a senior. The biggest question your nephew has had is, do you remember the last time you had a 10-second lead at a place like Daytona?
He said he remembered me having one, but I don't remember it. But, you know, the Menard Chevrolet, it's pretty good tonight. And, you know, it's just a matter of the same old Daytona in the summertime. If you can hold the throttle wide open, that's the guy that's going to win the race. And pretty much that whole run, he held the throttle wide open. There was one section in there he said he had to start getting off of it a little bit, but pretty much he's running wide open. You know, he said, I'm so loose that I'm wrecking. And I said, well, everybody else behind you is worse because you're 3/10 faster than them. So he ran like 7 or 8 laps letting off the gas, and then he said, well, it's coming back to me now. I said, I'm wide open again. So he just kept pulling away. And then after the pit stop, the 5-second lead turned into a 10-second lead. So haven't seen that at Daytona in a long time. And, you know, this tire just, it's gave us a handful this weekend. We worked hard to get the car as good as it is, and it's still not as good as it needs to be at Daytona, but there's a lot of other people out there that's off. So hopefully we'll get it a little bit better the next time we stop, and maybe these guys won't get theirs.
The other question Dale Jr. had, exactly how big is a 10-second lead? And his spotter, Joey Meyer, said it's the entire length of the backstretch. He says, you know, that's surprising because every time I'm on the backstretch, I look at the big screen, and all I can see is the guy running in second.
We try to dial Dale Jr. up here, and we heard from his crew chief. Let's see if we can hear from a driver. Hey, Dale Jr., this is DW in the Fox Sports booth here, buddy. You got a copy? Hey, Dale Jr., we just talked to Pops over there, and tell the folks at home, if you can, why your car is awesome, buddy. I mean, and we know you're driving the wheels off of it. We got shots of you sideways, and I know it's not a cakewalk, but tell the folks at home why your car is so good tonight.
Well, they brought a new tire here, this tire from Talladega or something that's really, really hard, and the car is pushing real bad or really, really loose. There's really no middle ground, and we've been fighting loose condition all week. We just kind of tuned on it. Luckily, we went too far and got tight. Car's just been real loose and sideways, but I hadn't had to lift yet. There's been a couple occasions where I had to get off the gas for a couple of bobbles, but for the most part, I can run the whole corner wide open, and I think a lot of guys are fighting that.
Yeah, I mean, this is reminiscent of 2 or 3 years ago down here when nobody could really run with you, and it looks like you got that kind of car tonight. How do you feel about getting to the finish here now?
Everybody's had a chance to work on them a little bit. You never know what the competition's going to be like till the very end.
Well, buddy, I tell you, you look good out there tonight. This is like days of old. You look like the old Pied Piper. Follow me, and looks like that's the way it's going to go. Good luck, and thanks for talking to us.
Some sort of idea what kind of tires you was running on back in '79, because I couldn't keep that thing on the bottom for nothing down in 1 and 2 to save my life. So, pretty interesting night.
Well, you're up there against the wall. You're up there in the Richard Petty groove. You're in the King groove right now, buddy, but you're looking good.
I have a good one. You up and running, DJ?
They have fired the engines. They're going to restart this race here in just a bit. Tony Stewart had some concern after this incident, and we listened in to the Dollar General team as Tony kind of talked about what happened out there.
Yeah, sorry, I just locked up the brakes, I guess. I didn't think I was that hard on them, but I locked up the right front real bad.
No big deal, bud. It's all good. Guys, we got some time here. Just take a good look at everything.
If they show this thing on TV here, let me know what it looks like here as far as if it looks like it's already coming apart.
Well, we're happy to oblige. Let's have a look here. You will see Tony Stewart come into view near the top of the screen. And let's roll this. Right there is where he starts to lock up those rear tires.
Well, that's quite a bit of a lockup. I would be a little bit concerned about that.
Stewart drives through the smoke and through the grass and makes it through without any apparent damage to the car. But what are those tires like? That'll be the question.
But what I would say, I mean, Tony is still on the lead lap. We've got 24 cars on the lead lap. He's in 21st. Come to pit road and get 4 tires.
Just bring her on here, bring her on in, Smoke, and we'll fix that problem for you.
There are 24 cars on the lead lap. There will be 23. P.J. Jones is our Aaron's lucky dog. He'll get back on the lead lap.
It's going to need a little bit of a push, I think. It wouldn't refire.
Don't reckon the battery's a little low, do you?
I know where the battery's located.
Stedman Marlin climbs out of the car with a little bit of assistance after being involved in that. He will likely join Reed Sorensen in the garage with Danny O'Quinn, Jeff Spraker, and Shane Hall. 63 laps complete. We're back under yellow at Daytona.
Thursday, it's a double shot of Sunny.
I know something you don't know.
TV Guide raves Sunny is brazenly funny.
This isn't over until I say it's over!
And so wrong, it's riotous.
We're done here.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Back-to-back episodes, Thursday at 10.
It's an Applebee's garden party with those salads fresh and new. Apple walnut chicken and Tuscan shrimp, just to name a few. Applebee's salad perfection, we're expecting you.
Are you getting enough fiber? Goodyear's new Eagle Response Edge gives you more of what you crave. The added performance of carbon fiber. A carbon fiber reinforced sidewall creates added stability for sharp maneuvering and a better feel for the road, while a shock-absorbing insulator delivers a smooth, quiet ride. The new Goodyear Eagle Response Edge. Getting your fiber has never been so fun. Innovation on the wings of Goodyear.
When something is real, you know it.
Like the real thing, baby.
Introducing new Just for Men. Its new True Color formula targets only gray. Easy as shampooing for a natural look that is real. Real to the eye, real to the touch, real where it counts. New True Color Just for Men.
And it all comes down to this for Howard.
For his fiancée, it's meant postponing their wedding for this event.
It's a clean start. There seems to be some sort of trouble with the Hampton boat. Oh dear, a seat just broke.
The boat is literally falling apart.
Somebody is going to have a lot of explaining to do.
Not the official tools of competitive rowing. The official tools of NASCAR. Craftsman at Sears.
It's an Applebee's garden party with those salads fresh and new. Apple walnut chicken and Tuscan shrimp, just to name a few. Applebee's salad perfection, we're expecting you.
Welcome back here at Daytona. Dale Jr. leading. Red flag for about 12 minutes, delaying things. Back under caution, getting ready to roll. In case you joined us a little bit late here on FX, Dale Earnhardt Jr. led 8 of the first 6 laps, taking the lead from Denny Hamlin, and then a series of flags up with problems.
Yeah, problems right there. Johnny comes in, locks it, overshoots. Hamlin right there runs out of fuel. And when the 66 of Scott Wimmer runs out of fuel, he kind of messes up the 60 car. Carl Edwards and messes him up pit. Same thing here for the 2 car, Clint Boyer. He comes down pit road and overshoots his pits.
After just 1 caution, lap 6. Not the big one, but a messy one. 7 cars involved. Reed Sorensen on the 40. Nowhere to go with Kevin LePage in the 56. All the drivers okay. 2 cars officially out of this race. That's what brought out the red flag. And you heard Tony minutes ago, crew chief for Dale Earnhardt Jr. saying A 10-second lead unheard of in this race.
Unheard of, but the last time I saw this kind of domination really was Bill Elliott and DW. You know how strong he was when it came to restrictor plate racing. They're kind of stretching out on everybody.
Looks the same way, Jeff, and again, it the handling of the car. He could just run wide open, and we couldn't. I know we just keep saying that over and over again, but I just can't stress what a big deal that is to be able to run around here wide open. I do believe he's got a car capable of hanging with Dale Jr. if they run a few laps.
And I think that's one reason Michael Waltrip and that group decided to stay. They can at least get up there to the rear bumper of that 8 car.
Johnny Sauter, Mike Wallace, and John Wood have just made pit stops. They'll go to the back of the pack. And correct myself, Stedman Marlin out of the race with heat exhaustion. He was not involved in the accident, but instead parked his car. And now we'll see more pit stops as we are 1 lap from going green.
And you mentioned Mike Wallace in that 1 car made a stop. We saw him get just a little bit of damage as he came through that wreck. And Mike had worked his way up into the top 10, so I know they hated to make a pit stop. Some repairs here with about 35 laps to go. You see Clint Boyer continuing to make repairs at the rear of that car. He was involved. Bernie Lamar, the 77 car right now. Bernie is 1 lap down. Finished second here in the February race.
Yeah, not having quite the luck he did here in February. Not yet, anyway.
Here's Todd Cleaver and P.J. Jones. Johnny Sauter's coming back in. His brother Tim. There are 3 Sauters in this race. Tim, Jay, and Johnny.
Of course, what a lot of these cars are fighting for is to get out there, be the first car a lap down, get a caution, get back on the lead lap.
So we will restart with 24 cars on the lead lap in the outside lane, lap down cars on the inside. Earnhardt Jr. the leader, Michael Waltrip, Carl Edwards, Jason Leffler, John Andretti. They did not stop on the most recent caution. Then J.J. Yaley, Brian Vickers, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Jamie McMurray, and the rest of this field.
And there's 2 Busch regulars right there in the top 5, Jason Leffler and John Andretti. So those 2 cars have been probably the best 2 Busch cars, and Menard as well, most all year.
Well, this is our final NASCAR Busch race on Fox. Next year, new television package. And Fox will not be part of the NASCAR Busch series, which we will miss greatly. But in honor of the 6 fun years we've had with this great racing series, what do you say on this restart? We let everybody run over to those amplifiers and give them a little exercise.
Just bottom them out one time. We'll give you a little DLP cam to go with it. We're just going to crank it up on this restart.
Jr. trying to run to daylight. He is faster through the turns, but they gather him up on the straightaways.
There's some jockeying going on behind him, I can tell you.
A little light bump drafting down the back straightaway before they turned it off into turn 3. Riding with Michael Waltrip, looking back at Carl Edwards in a 60 car.
I'd call that casual contact on this racetrack.
Car's starting to make a little bit of a move back there. Martin Truex Jr., the defending champion this race. Now, he's in the 88 Navy car. Mark McFarland is still the driver for that car, but but he was injured in that late race crash last week at Milwaukee. Martin Truex Jr. driving, filling in for Martin McFarland. Started 25th. He's making his way to the front.
I think you'll see everybody, you know, be able to hang with Dale Jr. for a little while. Fresh tires can hold their cars wide open for a little.
Carl Edwards. That was the contact that put us under the caution for the third time tonight.
20 car going by with damage.
Last week's winner, Paul Menard, sat on the outside of the front row. The 11 car tore up. There's Denny Hamlin, second in the points in the 20 car. A lot of damage.
Menard's car is killed.
Stephen Light, the right front torn up on his car. Michael Waltrip was running second, so this all happened very close to the front of the field. Watch the 60 of Edwards and the 99.
He just gave him a bump in the wrong place. That's what they've been complaining about here. You can't bump in the corners, and you can't bump going into the corners.
Stephen Light in the 90 car, who was trying to get his lap back, he was heavily involved.
And at the very end, Waltrip slid down the track and collected Jay Sauter in the 0-1.
Just get right here, right about the time you're getting ready to turn off into the corner, that little casual contact just sends, you're loose in anyway, and now you get a little bump and it just sends the car around.
Boy, it wasn't much of a bump, but it didn't take much.
Boy, look at that 90 car. That thing went airborne.
Yaley squeaks by in the grass, and Regan Smith shoots the gap and makes it through.
And Tony Stewart goes by in the grass on the apron.
There it is.
Just one too many.
Nice job by our folks at Broadcast Sports, getting the onboard views from Michael Waltrip.
Where Denny Hamlin almost made it by, but nowhere for Paul Menard or Stephen Light in the 90 car, and just nowhere for him to go.
Steve Burns.
Mike, and we heard Michael Waltrip after that wreck. He said, my car was slow, but I didn't deserve to get wrecked. He just spun me out.
Well, he was bumping him all the way down the back, and it was a casual. It wasn't hard. It wasn't like he was slamming into him. He just hit him one too many times in the wrong place.
Well, Darrell, we say he hit him, but look at the nose on Carl Edwards' car. It didn't even break the paint. It was such a light touch.
But the cars, you know, you'll hear the drivers complain about being a little bit loose in. That's kind of how you set these cars up. And you get a touch right there on corner entry, it will send that guy around. No, you could see from the in-car Michaels, he was not hitting him hard.
No.
It was just that little bump that did him in getting in the corner.
And this had been going on for the last few laps. Carl had been tucked up behind Michael Waltrip for about the last 3 or 4 laps, trying to give him that surge down the back straightaway.
We've long said at these speeds, these cars are so loose, you can turn them around with your finger. And that's about the amount of pressure
and here
Edwards
comes
applies.
Carl. Now watch. Soft. Soft. But this little bit of a right at the corner, you can see Michael just getting ready to turn in.
As you said, just one too many.
One too many.
And last week's winner is this week's victim. Here's Dick Berggren with Paul Menard.
Yeah, he just took a look at what's left of the right front corner of the car. Is it as bad as it looks, Paul?
Yeah, it's. I think we junked it right there. Typical play race, you know. That's why I play racing so frustrating, and you know, one person spins and everybody else gets caught up in it. So it's frustrating. But what are you gonna do?
The right front, Mike, is virtually torn off this car. I mean, the right front corner is just gone. No way they're going to fix it and get it back out there tonight. He comes in here 6th in the points.
It all happened behind Dale Earnhardt Jr., right behind him. He is still our leader with 29 laps to go in the Winn Dixie 250 presented by Pepsi.
The bold style, the confidence,
even the way it moves. All expected. But you never expected the all-new Dodge Caliber to come with an available chill zone, music gate power, and enough room to make all others respect the unexpected.
Now, qualified lessees can lease an all-new 2007 Dodge Caliber SE for just $199 a month.
In the race to finish the job on time, you need a solid team working together. And the finest pro-grade materials and equipment.
Hey, that was fast. Yeah, these little wheels were gripping good today.
Team 48 and Lowe's. Let's build something together.
Fun rolling the rocks.
Jealousy. Crown Royal.
Let's get you cleaned up.
Supercuts is a proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Hey, how's the temperature?
Supercuts, every time.
Larry, go, go, go! Right here, partner! Here we go! Right here! Go! Go, go, go! Go! Attaboy! Yeah, yeah, yeah!
Proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing. Supercuts, every time.
Today is Cinco de Mayo, so we thought it'd be fun to have a little party. Brian's going to go first. Okay, that's not a problem. Last week we switched to FedEx Kinkos for all our office needs. Of course, that'll do it for the party.
FedEx Kinkos. Make it, print it, pack it, ship it.
Listen to your favorite driver live with Wrist Day Scanner. Get it and other exclusive content online through AOL.com/sports and NASCAR.com.
You guys are awesome!
Hope you'll be with us tomorrow night on Fox. We'll recap the good, the bad, and the unusual of the first half of the NASCAR season. Speaking of good, he broke records with his 9th road course win. We'll talk live with Jeff Gordon, who's also engaged. Jeff's teammate, Jimmy Johnson, won here just 19 weeks ago. Can the points leader keep his cool for 10 laps with us? And last time they raced under the Florida sun, this time they'll be under the lights. DW and Jeff in their drive and ride put you closer to the track. All that plus gas and go. Tomorrow night, NASCAR on Fox, the pre-race show starts at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. The Pepsi 400 racing on this 4th of July holiday weekend, continuing on the Fox family of networks. Moments ago here, under caution with just 28 laps to go, Dale Earnhardt Jr., your leader, saw the accident with Michael Waltrip. Carl Edwards has been held a lap for aggressive driving.
Yeah, he's getting ready to come down pit road. He's been told to come down pit road, put it in the pit box. They're going to hold him for 1 lap for aggressive driving. Again, this is a judgment call by the folks in NASCAR, feeling like, he hit him one too many times, and they want to make sure that everybody understands. And this is probably a message that's trying to be sent, not just for the remainder of the night, but probably also for tomorrow night too, Chris, that they're trying to make sure everybody understands we're not going to have this again. We got too close to this back at Daytona when there was a lot of controversy about bump drafting, and I think this is what's being sent right now, a message not only for the remainder of the night, but for tomorrow night also.
Tony Stewart said after the Budweiser shootout, remember, somebody's going to get killed out there. That created a stir.
Right now you see that team, I'm sure they're dejected, but I'm sure that Pierre Cattell, the crew chief on this car, is telling his driver, look, just don't get excited. We'll go out and race. Hopefully we'll catch another caution, and we may get back on the lead lap and can make a good run out of it yet.
Carl Edwards on the cover of Men's Health magazine flexing his muscles here, maybe a little too aggressive. Let's check in with Steve Burns.
And Michael Waltrip just out of the care center. Michael, we heard you say on the radio that maybe you were a little slow, but you just didn't deserve to get wrecked.
Well, Carl, that was bump drafting gone bad. I mean, why he pushed me down in the corner, I don't know. I love Carl. He's a great racer. He just made a mistake. He got penalized. That's just, but my car's tore all to pieces. I'm real proud of the Aaron's team. You can see there on TV, he just lifts my wheels off the ground going in the corner. I like Carl. I even loaned him my body for that Men's Health shot. That was his head.
Did not.
Yeah, his head on my body. I love him that much. But, It was just a mistake. No hard feelings. He raced hard, and I know he's sorry, and we'll get him tomorrow night. I love this track, man. It makes me want to go.
You're good here.
I like it. I got big feet. So you push the pedal down real hard and hang on and guide. And the fans are so passionate here. And I just am real thankful to have the opportunity to race NASCAR and at Daytona especially. It makes my heart bound.
Glad you're okay. See you tomorrow night.
Cheers.
Oop, you spilled.
All right, and Michael, referring to the magazine cover, there is Carl Edwards, Men's Health, coming out in August. And that's not Michael's body, is it? But I loved his bump.
I wouldn't know.
Bump drafting gone bad. That sounds like a show on FX. You know, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, followed by bump drafting gone bad. We're getting ready to go green. Let's rejoin. Is this Darrell's body?
Yeah, hopefully that's not what's on Fox tomorrow night at 7:30. Bump drafting gone bad. We're getting set for the restart. That was not dump drafting, but it probably was a little too much contact, and so Carl Edwards now leaves pit road as the field comes by under green behind Dale Jr. with 26 to go.
Well, all I know is in the last 24 laps, the average speed of this race has lost 50 miles per hour.
John Andretti now second place. He stayed out under the caution flag at lap 60. He was good to go the distance.
And how many Julys ago was it that he won down here in Cale Yarborough's car in the Cup race?
Oh, probably 7 or 8 years ago.
Yes, he did it here in 1997. John looking pretty racy in that 10 car. Kevin Harvick in that 21 car looked like he was going to go with him for a minute, but he tucks in behind Brian Vickers in the 57 car.
Boys, I got to tell you, these guys have, talking about bump drafting gone bad, this is just racing gone bad in some of these cases here. These guys are 3 wide right here.
Jason Leffler stuck in the middle between Casey Kane and on the outside Kenny Wallace.
I think Kenny Wallace said, I need to back out of here a little bit.
Carl Edwards with the penalty. Edwards dropped from 3rd to 26th, 1 lap down. Riding with Greg Biffle.
Biffle not had a very good night, but he stayed on the lead lap in the 16 car. He's in the 12th position right now. Clint Boyer in the 2 car, staying on the lead lap after a lot of repairs, up there in the 13th position.
Kevin Harvick from 42nd on the starting grid due to a penalty for unapproved adjustments, unapproved modification, has climbed to 3rd, trying to pad his point lead. Right now it's over 400 points on Hamlin.
I can't really say enough about Brian Vickers running there in second. His restrictor plate driving has really improved over the last year.
You know, Jamie McMurray in that 64 car driving for Rusty Wallace, he had to start at the rear of the field with Kevin Harvick because they had to change the engine in that 64 car. So he's in 76 laps from tail end Charlie up here to the top 5.
Boy, Bernie Lamar meat in the sandwich in that second pack. He was that yellow car, the Dollar General car, squeezed between about 6 cars and nowhere to hide.
That's such an uncomfortable place to be when you got cars on either side of you. You know you got no margin for error.
They came off turn 4 like that. They come off turn 2 the same way, 3 abreast.
And you hear them over there having to lift, get out of the throttle, keep running over each other.
Speaking of Dollar General cars, how about that Dollar General car back there in 6th, the 33 car, Tony Stewart. At the beginning of this race, he was about 10 seconds from going a lap down. We saw him lock the tires up. Coming after that wreck over off turn 4, here he is up in the 6th position, the winner from the February race.
And a very similar strategy, Larry. I mean, he struggled with that car down here in February. They made all kind of changes. Got him up there at the end of the day where he could run wide open and won the race.
He's alongside pole sitter J.J. Yaley. At the bottom of your screen, Stewart inside, Yaley outside.
But I think you see, after a number of caution flags and some adjustments.
Turn 2, Ashton Lewis had a little help getting up to the wall there. Straightens it out, and we stay.
But I think you see that gap between Dale Jr. and everybody else is he didn't pull away to that 10-second lead yet.
Let's see who Lewis got together with in turn 2.
I think this car has had some damage from some earlier incidents. He just gets up a little high right there.
There it is. Johnny Sauter got him after he got into the safer barrier.
Ashton still on the lead lap, the 25 car.
And there is a tire.
I'm going to say it very possibly came off the 25 car because he looked like his left rear was in trouble, and we've got a caution now with 21 laps to go.
Oh, boy.
It is off Lewis's car. Look, the right front is down as he comes to pit road. And that caution's probably a good thing because in that lead pack, Busch was coming to shove.
Guess who gets, I think, the lucky dog in this case? Carl Edwards. You don't think so?
Really? Yeah, I think he does. Wow.
If he indeed, when the caution, at the point of caution, if he indeed was the first car lap down, you're exactly right.
Survey says Carl Edwards.
Hmm.
.21 laps to go, and the Vice Titans just a little bit here in Daytona. Business, as they say, is picking up.
See the show TV Guide hails as brazenly funny. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Thursday at 10, only on FX.
How about Zach? Oh, yeah. Very proud of him. Really? No, I thought he did well. I thought you both did great today. Thank you. I just thought, hey, Zach, how you doing? Good. Hey, Zach. Oh. Oh.
Are you getting enough fiber? Goodyear's new Eagle Response Edge gives you more of what you crave. The added performance of carbon fiber. A carbon fiber reinforced sidewall creates added stability for sharp maneuvering and a better feel for the road. While a shock-absorbing insulator delivers a smooth, quiet ride. The new Goodyear Eagle Response Edge. Getting your fiber has never been so fun. Innovation on the wings of Goodyear.
Get a fresh start on summer with a fresh, crisp salad. Now with any Ruby Tuesday entree you choose, add our no-limit salad bar for just $2.79. Only at Ruby Tuesday. Simple, fresh, American dining.
The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary things.
Armor All Wax, wipes, and tire shines. Go ahead, stare.
Drop the bomb on razor irritation. Aqua Velva Ice Bomb, an alcohol-free vitamin-infused lotion for razor-irritated skin. Mega soothing. Aqua Velva Ice Bomb Aftershave.
I dearly love my brother Daryl, and I've seen the disappointment on his face.
Huh? I can't believe he got me again.
I know he's been frustrated because I wouldn't let him drive the old Aaron's Dream Machine.
Hey, man, where's the love?
So on July 22nd in Martinsville, we're going to make DW's dreams come true and put him behind the wheel. Aaron's and their partners present Another for My Brother. There's the love, DW.
19 laps to go in Daytona. Here's our Holiday Inn look again replay of the two major incidents. Reed Sorensen triggered this one. Paul Tracy among those involved, and then Carl lightly, but not too politely, into the back of Michael Waltrip. Just the right kind of tap at the wrong kind of time. Wrecked Waltrip's car and Jay Sauter, Stephen Light, all with major damage from that one. As a result, NASCAR penalized Edwards 1 lap for rough driving. Matt?
Mike Edwards picked up the lucky dog on lap 79, then pitted on lap 81, but before the caution had a long conversation with his crew chief, Pierre Coutel, about his side of the incident with Michael Waltrip.
Everything good, clean? Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, that looked bad, but I hit him that last time before we got to the corner there. I didn't know he was that loose there.
Whole new ball game for Carl Edwards. Now he did pit, made an air pressure adjustment. The car just way too tight in traffic, and he's going to have a lot of traffic to go through to try to work his way back to the front with 19 laps to go.
He'll be the last car on the lead lap in 20th place.
And we did have about 5 or 6 cars make a pit stop there and get 4 fresh tires, like Matt Yoakum pointed out, Carl Edwards, but also Tony Stewart in the 33 car, Kenny Wallace in the 22, John Wood in the 47. 5 or 6 of them made a stop here with about 18 or 19 to go.
I was surprised Stewart didn't come in the last caution because he was complaining about flat spot in his tires. So I think if I was him, I'd feel a whole lot better now they got me 4 fresh ones.
John Andretti returning to the scene of his first Nextel Cup win. He is a rookie in the Busch Series, running third. Dick?
Yeah, at age 43, he's a rookie in this series, and he chose not to pit that last time around. In the previous round of pit stops, Andretti took 2 tires outside right tires in order to gain track position. He has been able to maintain that track position, and tonight is his best run all year. Best finish so far in 2006 has been 9th at Bristol. Listening to him on the radio, he is trying to save his stuff for the end of the race. Maybe, just maybe, we're going to have another upset tonight.
Well, Andretti started 30th. 3 of the last 4 Busch races here have been won from outside the top 10 starting spots. Aerial coverage from the Goodyear blimp. Goodyear Eagle tires with carbon fiber technology for enhanced handling and performance.
I don't believe that 8 car will let you save anything. Whatever you got, you better use it. You better use it now.
But you know, back to John Andretti, we talk about him being a Robestos Rookie of the Year candidate. He's second in those points, only 10 points behind Bernie Lamar.
And Lamar right now is running 25th, 1 lap down. P.J. Jones back on the lead lap. He's in 14th place and one of the quicker dodges on the racetrack.
And he was one of the quicker dodges down here in February. Sat on the outside of the front row, actually with Aaron Fike in the 43 car. This race team sat on the outside of the front row. And remember, his car would not crank at the red flag, had to get a little push start.
Can anyone run with and beat Dale Jr.? Let's find out. It'll be 17 laps to go.
Well, this is a good window right here. It really doesn't give Dale Jr. enough time to get away from these guys if they'll stay.
On the last restart, Jr. got a big lead in turns 1 and 2, and they lined up and inhaled him down the backstretch.
Well, you just see right there how he just drives behind him at all. Now, obviously, when he gets on the back, they're going to all chase him down, but it just shows what kind of car he's got tonight.
We have seen that on every restart where he pulls them 4 or 5 car lengths by the time they get up turn 2.
Look, Darrell, he trial lap down around the bottom of the racetrack all the way around.
Wants to. You watch, he'll run the bottom. I watch, he's going to slide up right here and close the door on Vickers. And all Vickers can do is just kind of get him out.
Left front tire rub on Regan. From earlier contact. Andretti looks low. Block. Harvick looks low.
He's going to go to the bottom. He's going to bring teammate Clint Warrior in the 2. Look at the deck on the 2. And remember, he was on lap.
Powerhouses here working against only 2. We got